grifter. Worth 24/7 is pretty bad actually. Worth pointing out. I mean, bad in the fact that some people they are.
I think they're pretty real flat earthers. That Indio guy I was talking to.
Yeah.
Indio's pretty cool. Indio's pretty cool. I will say that. But I was just going to point out the Toons, the McKeegans, the Simon Dan. Are these people demonetized? Witsit?
No. I think we made like 50K on Antarctica.
Oh. But yeah, Witsit is, and he barely curses. I don't think I can't remember the last time I heard Witsit curse. And he's demonetized? How's that work?
Yeah.
And he's a grifter.
Yeah, so stupid.
Well,
no, but McToon admitted to all of us. He is literally
a loose term.
McToon actually just admitted to all of us. Like Lee's called him out and was like, "Bro, you should be super thankful for Austin. You wouldn't even exist. Your channel wouldn't even exist without him." And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely, that's true. It's like the primary thing that makes me money." And then even like just absorbed and acknowledged that he like exaggerates and lies and makes up narratives that aren't actually true. To kind of create drama and get clicks, which is literally grifting, like lying to get money. So I just think that's all very ironic, right? Which is where I could drop Flat Earth and people would still come listen to my channel for my other takes. I don't need other people to exist. I don't need to like defame other people so people watch my show. And that's what like McToon needs. And ironically, he makes 50K in a couple of days. And
well, the fact that your grift is not very profitable doesn't preclude it from being a grift in my mind. And some people their grift is after, some people their payoff is fame or adulation or acceptance or friend group or appreciation or being put on a pedestal and heard to. A lot of people
I would be way bigger without Flat Earth, I mean, in my opinion, but I mean I guess people can disagree.
Well, I'd like to see you do it. Not that I don't believe in you, but I would love to see you get big outside of Flat Earth.
Well, yeah, but I'm always gonna hold true to myself, right? So whatever I think to be true is what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna like do anything for other reasons. But yeah, it's all good.
Yep.
I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Yep. I'm probably gassed out on this one. Sounds like you're at the end of it too.
Yep.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah, back at you.
Wait, do you guys believe in the Gregorian calendar? Is there a Flat Earth New Year?
Oh, it's a fake New Year's, but
do we celebrate New Year today, or do you guys celebrate on a different day?
Spring, when everything comes back to life, is the actual New Year, not December, which means 10 somehow being the 12th month. But you know,
do you advocate for returning to a 13-month lunar calendar?
I'm open to it. Yeah.
Open to that.
I don't even know if I advocate for changing it. It's just like it is important to know that it's wrong. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird. I think it. You know what? Can I tell you one more funny thing? Maybe you already know this, but as far as Anom Green came up and pay against non-Christian ideas, I recently learned that the idea of Friday the 13th, the spooky number, Jason, Voorhees or whatever, and some people don't want to go on the 13th floor because they're superstitious and everything. The origin of the Friday the 13th is actually a pagan idea that was demonized by Christians who turned it into this concept of witchcraft and evil spirits. But it was actually a eugenic process that our ancestors had because they had a 13-month lunar calendar, which meant 4 7-day weeks, 28 days per month. And so Friday the 13th was always the Friday in the middle of the month. And the Friday in the middle of the month was basically a sacred holy day for them that represented spring. And it correlated with the honeymoon and marriage ceremonies. It was basically the day that represented love and fertility. So Friday the 13th was the day that they would do their mating rituals. And the Christians turned that into an evil, satanic Black Sabbath witchcraft day. And they used it as a justification for persecuting our ancestors under the guise of holiness. And that's why it turned into
wow, that's great. I can totally see that being true for sure.
It's far out. Anyway, there's a lot of reasons why I'm not a big fan of Christianity. There's a lot of bad things that happened with the church and the whole thing that came from it. But
I'm going to get out of here. Ironically, so
I'm going to get out of here. Pleasure talking. You guys were mostly like very cool, and it's not always my experience with flat earthers, but I think it's partly because I've learned to vibe with your vibe, and not overtalk. And I think a lot of people make that mistake for trying to come in all aggressive and bullying. But I've learned that if I'm cool with you guys, then you guys will be cool with me. So I give you props for that. And it's actually for everybody who might be listening who's not a flat earther, just be cool with the guys and they'll be cool with you. You guys have been cool.
Back at you,
All right,
brother.
cool. Bye.
All right, man. Later.
Anybody gonna watch my balls drop?
Hey, well, tomorrow's my 12-year wedding anniversary at noon. We got married.
Congrats.
Thanks, bro.
That was pretty funny when he said he's going to try to take you down. I was laughing because I was like, you don't know who he works for, meaning the kingdom. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it's like join the list. Well, Blaze, what's your take on like the community losing their mind recently?
You know what? I feel like there it's a paradigm shift, right? There's more division going on, and who is going to divide, right? You're either with him. I said this the other day, and I think Kai was on. You're either with the big guy and his son, or you're not, right? So I think a lot of people were attached. We're seeing a lot of people that have a model, right? And for the longest time, when I first learned about this, we didn't have a model, right? We didn't have a model, but apparently now we're seeing that a lot of people do have a model. And if there's a 24-hour sun, then you know what? We back to work. Just because there might be a sun and all that other kind of stuff, it doesn't mean that we're flying through the air. It just means, wow, Yah's creation is even wilder than we thought. And I'm sorry that you're going through it. I'm sorry it's upsetting Kai, but, I just like to remind you who you're working for, right? You're working for the creator and his son and the kingdom. So keep it up. He'll strengthen you. And thank you for all you do.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words.
It can't be easy, I mean,
Yeah, that was nice of you.
well, but it's true, I think that you really put yourself out there. What an opportunity, to go to Antarctica. And I heard you say that's on your passport. That's awesome. That
Yeah,
is
actually,
cool.
I had to get the passport for this trip, and now the first page has Antarctica on it.
That's classic.
Are you crazy?
How many boosters? How many boosters did you get for the trip? You wouldn't know when. You wouldn't know when they had it.
33.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm, on to the next thing. There's the paradigm shift, right? So, and I think that Joseph Hanvey guy really, really digging that model. I hate to even say a model, but it's Yah's creation. So, and there was a lot of people who were saying that we wouldn't figure it out. And I was like, well, if Yah's going to let the adversary pervert it, he's definitely going to let his children, his people, figure it out.
Yeah, or
There's-
definitely get closer,
Yeah.
because I part of me realizes I think that a big part of this is multifaceted. And so, like, Yah has a plan and he's kind of moving the needle forward and breaking it through some censorship and using them against himself and all this. But at the same time, I think he also used it to kind of humble Flat Earth in a way, because Flat Earth was like really objectifying the Earth and treating like just like calling it a model, making it a model. It kind of like undermines it probably. Like, I think Enoch was clearly like just in disbelief. And to think that we can just kind of sit here and jump on the internet and it's like, oh, what is the sun's elevation angle? And like we can somehow like draw it. I think that's probably not even close to the case. I think even like Enoch was being shown by people with inside information on exactly how it worked and was just like asking tons of questions and trying to figure it out. And so I think that's, if that makes sense, where it's like we kind of had to be reminded that maybe one of the big kind of slaps in the face of the globe deception is that they claimed to know exactly what his creation is in entirety, where he pretty clearly tells us that we'll never know that. We'll never know the dimensions. We'll never be able to fully measure it. I think he'll give us a general idea and it'll help us
Yes.
progress more in the right direction, but it's always going to end in the same place, which should be like, wow, this place is so beyond my ability to fully grasp it that I should just like immediately implement like adoration, and humility and stuff like that. So I think that's a part. There's a part of that. I was, if you look at it, Fires was getting very kind of stagnant and arrogant and complacent, and really objectifying creation, and it kind of like undermines it. It undervalues it in a way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know what you think about that, but
Well, I mean, I think that, are we asking him for the wisdom and the revelation? Like, what do you want me to do? What do you like? Help me out. Like, I really like the prayer life. I'm not asking for an answer, but I'm asking, how's the prayer life? Right. So I really think that, the scriptures tell us that he gives us what we want, when we're faithful and obedient. And look, maybe we're not going to find out exactly until we get to the kingdom a little bit, but he's not going to let the adversary, whomever, his enemies, the fallen angels, the principalities, he's not going to let them completely just like pervert it and then not let his children, have some kind of major grasp for it. I think it's just how I feel.
no, yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. But I think that we maybe were kind of going down the wrong path, so we had to. Because
Right.
like I prayed a lot about the trip, and then yeah, I don't know if you heard this, but when we were flying there was like a shadow of the plane on a cloud below us, and there was a little rainbow around it,
Oh,
like a perfect little rainbow, and it was just following our plane. Like I knew intuitively, like the creator was showing us, like he's there, he's protecting us, like we're good. And so I got like really excited because I'm like, yeah, like we're totally. I had many different kind of confirmations and stuff and synchronicities that I was supposed to go, and I prayed for sign if I wasn't, and I definitely didn't get that. But that was like the final one on the way, that's like for sure in case you needed some more reassurance, like you're supposed to go do this, and I'm going to reveal to you what's here. So with that context, it's just like very exciting. I think it's very cool. It's showing that he's kind of thinks that we're ready for maybe like the next step, and like that's pretty
mhm,
cool. Because I mean, if you think
mhm.
about it, a lot of the people we've learned so much over the last few years, like we weren't really equipped to try to reveal it to large amounts of people like 5 years ago. Like we didn't know even like a fraction of what we know now. So maybe it's like we were kind of training, and now it's like, okay, now you're ready to kind of maybe take the next steps. And then of course the weather was just perfect when we got there. After they said it was like super overcast the whole time. You would have never saw the sun for 24 straight hours the whole rest of the summer so far. And it was just perfect. No clouds basically. Um, so yeah, and then obviously the people that are on the other side, like their audience, for example, Tune's audience mocks believers and mocks the scriptures and are like vile, sadistic, atheists. And there's a guy claiming to be a preacher who says he studied the whole scriptures and has come to the conclusion that for sure the Bible doesn't condemn deceptions and lies. And so you're obviously held to a higher standard as a teacher and stuff like that, right? So I just, there's no conceivable world where the creator is like on their side and not ours or something. So we should just be patient and kind of see what he's doing, and like if we really have faith, then we should be excited.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 100%. It's just wild how people are just going at each other, and it's like, I don't I don't know. But to me, I'm reminded of Messiah. He didn't come to bring peace on earth, right? He came to bring division. And that's why I'm like, and that's why remember it was happening a lot in like the messianic people too, the Trinitarian and this and that. And it's like there's so much division and like it's gonna get worse. Or we're gonna have more division and more deception. and it is still such a very important spiritual component, the shape of the earth. So keep it up. And thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Sears 2025.
2025 is gonna be crazy for FE, like 100%.
Yeah,
So,
it's going to be crazy for that storm for all those people, up north. Oh my gosh. Have you guys heard about it?
mm-mm.
What? See, this is like, I mean, this is so absolutely insane. Did you also hear about the Deagle report?
Yeah, that said that the population would drop significantly.
Yeah, in 2017 it said that by like 65% or something in the US and the UK, something like that.
Mm.
But
Wow.
so the fact that you haven't heard about, has anybody else heard about this like Arctic storm that's about ready to hit? Well, it's not right now. It's going to be like the 6th through maybe the 15th. People are not going to be prepared for it because it's going to be grid down, because it's going to be such a strain on the system, the grid. Like they're saying, so say the average is like 20 degrees, it's going to be negative 20. And what are people going to do? They're going to freeze to death. People need to start looking into it. I don't think they're talking about it on mainstream
The
media.
6th? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the 6th or the 8th, maybe even like a little bit this weekend, 5th or whatever. But if you're in the, I can get a video, but once you put in like in YouTube, severe winter storm 2025 Arctic, all this kind of stuff, you're gonna see some of the like geeky YouTube weathermen guys. Thank goodness for them. Oh my gosh, like what are these people gonna do? And so I heard one guy say people should get a tent, and that way they can put it in your living room, and that way you can put blankets over the tent to try to keep warm. People are going to freeze to death. I mean, I hate to be
Yeah.
the bearer of bad news like that, but like let's try to get them prepared. Here, I'm going to try to find something. Oh, I have it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm kind of watching this video like like big Arctic storm.
Oh my gosh,
Supposed
you
to
guys,
be even hitting the US pretty hard too.
oh, that's what I'm saying. And even they're saying, like, I think it's North Florida that it might snow.
Wow.
Like, it's supposed to get in the, I think, 20s. Did it go? Yeah. Yeah. Uh, it's supposed to get in the 20s. Possibly for us. I mean, this is why we live in Florida, right? We're not used to this stuff. What would we do? I'm thinking about getting a tent. I mean, this is no joke. Please, you guys, share it with people that are going to be, and then just kind of look on YouTube and please try to help people. Please, please, please. And if you're in those areas, like come to Florida, or I don't know, get some fire logs and food and all that kind of stuff, and prepare for your pets. Anyways,
It's a trip right when Trump is coming.
what's that? Yeah, right. Like, who knows? Hey, how did you deal with these 2 storms that we had here in Florida?
Oh, we were good. Nothing happened.
I'm in an area where all of the places around me, the streets to the east of me and to the west, flooded.
Yeah, I
Because
was thinking about you.
yeah, well, I was okay. And then where I live, it was so crazy because the water, I live a block away from the water, from the bay, and the water came halfway up my street, and then behind me halfway up that street, and then all the other streets, like, I don't know, must have been like 12, 13 streets east, and probably about the same, flooded. These people flooded. Not once, but twice. And then the second time, everybody still had all of their stuff still out front of their yards. They had to the remediation, take the drywall off and just like their furniture. Like it looked like I don't know, it was just a really crazy scene. But
Yeah, it's looks like an aftermath of a tornado. I got a buddy that was in Cedar Keys, and Cedar Keys got hit freaking
Mhm.
they were like ground zero, and his
Yeah,
house is on blocks, like on cinder blocks and shit. Yeah, he was a mess.
the surge really got us. And then Helene, what happened with Helene was we had the high tide right after that. It was just everybody was toast. But anyways, the second storm, Milton, I guess there was FEMA was saying like, sorry, we're shutting down the dump sites and all that stuff. And people were like, why? What are you doing that? And that's when DeSantis said, what are you doing? I don't think so. And then he had the dump trucks. He had police escorts for them and everything. And he was trying to get all that debris, that existing debris from Helene off the streets. And, well, I'm not going to say I was praying, right? I was praying for like a supernatural healing. And I'm not saying, a supernatural event where people would be like, what just happened? I'm not saying that this did it, but I was like, hello. The existing debris didn't fly anywhere. It just stayed right where it was. Like, that was a miracle, I think. And people were like, yeah, it was wet. I'm
Wow.
like, well, so were the trees that got downed. Oh, there were so many trees down. Oh my gosh. And a lot of them would go the opposite of the houses. I would say 95%, 88% of the trees that fell down in my area in St. Pete, they fell opposite of the houses. Pretty wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Hey, can I ask you something? That banjo guy that I follow, I wish that everybody would just get off this vape thing. What
Mhm.
have you said anything to them? Have you rebuked them? Have you are you just
Yeah,
like
I've for hours and hours in here over and over, refuted all the claims,
in a
all
video?
of them. I haven't done a stream yet, so 'cause I'm trying to get all the data compiled. So I think I'll do a stream tomorrow and I'll address everything. But and I think some people maybe have clipped it and stuff like that. But I had Flatsoid was talking trash about me, so I
That's
told him to come in here. So I called him out in here with the lies and stuff. And yeah, it's just all crazy because you go through all the lies and you show that they're not true. And I'm trying really hard to be patient and because quickly I'm trying to be empathetic and I understand why people are super skeptical and suspicious of everything in general. And then when you look at the video, it almost does look I don't know if the word's fake, but it's weird because it's such a surreal, pristine place and it's something you've never seen. So it's whoa, that just looks too perfect, you know? 'Cause that's what it looks like in person. And just I get the whole thing. I get why people would just be skeptical in general. And so I'm trying to be really patient. I know what they're doing is they feel hurt and they're like, dang, I thought I could trust Austin. Did he really fake it? Because these other people that they trust are telling them that they know I faked it and that they proved I faked it. And so they're just confused and feel hurt and feel betrayed and they're kind of scared and they're confused all around. So I'm trying to be patient and make it easy for them to maybe walk it back. So that's why I've been largely disconnected and not doing content yet. I'm being patient, all that. But anyway, what's really starting to get me where I'm losing my patience is when I'm spending the time going through all these claims and debunking them. Because the thing about how insane it is a group of people gaslighting me, telling me they know that I didn't do something I know I did. There's only so much you can entertain that before you're just this is so stupid.
Mhm.
But yeah, with him earlier, and this keeps happening, they making these claims, and then we go through the specifics, and I'm pull up the video, and I'm explaining everything, and I was oh, you faked your breath, you couldn't see your breath. I'm oh, here's a stream I did with Ellen Benjamin, you see my breath the whole time, and then they just ignore it. Or they say oh, who cares? Maybe they turned the AC up in that video or whatever. The craziest thing I've ever heard. And so, yeah, I'm starting to get impatient with those people that like once they're shown, they keep on lying anyway. And Banjo's just completely lost the plot. He's going
Lost
all
it.
out. So
So
yeah,
annoying. And then once you do make a video, rebuking them and correcting them and all that stuff, it's gonna be like all of us, your brothers and sisters, um, we're like, we got your back, right? So we'll just start sharing it. The more that information you give us, the more we have your back too.
yeah, they're gonna feel kind of stupid. I'm hoping. I keep telling people, and people that claim to be believers. I'm like reaching out to them in private, and I'm like, look, here's the deal, man. I'm telling you, like as a brother, I 100% went. 100% the sun does circle around you. Not lying about anything. I'm not faking anything. I've had like no sleep. I've been gone this whole time. I get back. I had to go to Tennessee immediately with the family. I just got back. But like I have tons of proof and receipts and videos and evidence and data. I want to explain everything. And like I'm just encouraging you to be patient, even if you're skeptical, and don't bear false witness.
Mm.
Like don't go publicly bear false witness. And it's like because they normally already had at that point. And I'm like, really, you should have approached me, but instead you're like publicly slandering me and bearing false witness. And that's the craziest part is like people that are claiming to be believers, and I'm reaching out to them privately and telling them like, yo, just be patient. It's kind of, tons of stuff's gonna come soon. You're gonna see that's for sure, bro. And they're just still like doing it anyway. So yeah, it's whatever. Because like one of the things I have a 4K 25-hour long video, and it's a 360 video. So you can like click with your mouse or like swipe on your phone, and you can look full 360 degrees up, down, all directions. It's literally
Wow.
25-hour long video in 4K. You can zoom all the way in, super high resolution. You can watch everything, and it's like you should probably just wait before you go out and claim it's fake, because you're gonna look stupid. But yeah, I don't know. People just aren't listening. They're full blown freaking out. And some people are just trying to get clicks because, like, especially when it first happened, if you just say anything about it, like you'll get, 200,000-300,000 views or 1 million views. And so people just are doing it for clicks. And I think a lot of it's kind of truth or traps that like even Globers are doing. Like Globers are like making up ridiculous claims and circulating them just to prove a point that flat earthers are really naive and that they'll take the bait or whatever, and flat earthers are falling for it. I think there's probably some bots and stuff. A lot of these accounts are anonymous and blah blah blah. So I actually did not expect this. I did not expect this much of a fallout. I did not think flat earthers would do this, but here we are. So
I think we can
And-
agree that vaping itself is a psyop. Everyone can agree on that.
This is a psyop. That's funny, Blob.
It's seed oils. You're inhaling.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it really?
Yeah, that might be terrible for you.
Well, I know they're terrible for you, but I didn't seed oils in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
looked at
how much?
video right now, showed them how stupid they are, man.
Hey,
And
Brian.
They don't care.
hey, what's up? What's up, man? I couldn't help but come in. I was listening to y'all, and I was like, I went to talk, and I was like, wait a minute, I ain't even in the damn room.
Yo, Brian, have you saw Eric
Sorry,
Dubé's
the
video?
might be up.
Oh my god, dude! I'm making a video right now to kind of to shit on him more or less, man. Just a couple people. I'm not just trying to shit on everybody because I feel like it's the content creators' fault. The few of them that are and you see the Globers are eating it up, man. It's just ridiculous, dude. It's
I
like,
know they're giving them exactly what they want.
I mean, even David Weiss, man. Like I mean, that's good what he did. He come out and he showed, look, this is explainable. I think there's people saying shit who didn't even follow y'all. It's like if the rest of us followed you before you went, and so I'm trying to keep that in mind. Like I'm trying to reach out to the people who aren't the ones making the content, but haven't seen the receipts. Just from seeing what y'all seen right there, y'all all three holding compasses. You on your iPhone, and then Jared with the device, and her with her phone. It's like, dude, and looking at the sun off in the distance. I mean, it's like, what are they claiming, that y'all ain't even in Pontus Arenas? I mean, the location showed up on the damn device. It's like,
Oh
dude,
yeah,
what?
even my wife was able to like track my location, and said I'm in Antarctica. She's got screenshots. We had GPS trackers. I was sharing my video in here. I came in Discord in Antarctica, connected to the Wi-Fi, and shared my camera and asked them what they wanted to see, what they wanted me to do, answered all their questions. So yeah, because like obviously Kai was kind of getting pissed. I mean, she stayed pretty calm, but she was just like she felt like she needed to defend me, because I FaceTimed
I
her the whole
bet.
time
I
and she
bet.
knows all the insides. And I'm like, yo, it's totally cool. It's totally cool, like I'm kind of built for it in a way. Like I'm used to it. So it's all good.
Dude, I've watched that too, man. I of course you are, but it hits it hits different, man. Hold on, he's shooting fireworks. Oh shit, that shoots big shit. Hold on. Okay, man, that was crazy. Okay, but they like with Flatzoid coming earlier. I watched that, and I was like, dude, you just debunk. I mean, oh my god, you just be fucked as it. Excuse my language, dude. I don't even know what to say. You just made him look like a blundering idiot. He's sitting there like he had an out, and then he had another out. He should have took the outs. Like you give him out.
I know. I tried to help
It's a little
him.
bit of ridicule for what he'd done already, and he didn't take them. He just doubled down, tripled down. I'm like, dude, he. You say he played that live on his channel?
Yeah, supposedly. I don't know. I mean,
I doubt he leaves that up. But I couldn't believe my ears, man.
oh
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude,
He
what are
live
you
streamed. He
arguing?
live streamed that conversation
The point
today.
is,
Yeah.
what are these people arguing? It's like, why are y'all accusing them of faking it? Everybody's got to make up their own mind. Is it because you're still trying to hold on to the North Pole centered map? Is it? I mean, that's what you'd think it would have to be. And it's like, dude, I don't know. I don't know, man. It does hit. Even I'm not even you, and I feel the pain a little bit, man, because it's a little different coming from some of your home team. But we're seeing who's you know worth a shit and who ain't, man. But I'm not blaming all the people for being skeptical, because they have shown some shit that looked funny, like that drone footage Will Duffy showing, like the shadows and all that. So but before you go making public claims, like you said, do a little research, man, and then you'll quickly come to the conclusion, or just ask somebody. There's so many of us out here. Just ask us if you didn't follow, and you ask somebody you trust, and anybody's gonna say, yeah, dude, they were down there. I mean, dude, we interacted with them the whole damn time. But there's no excuse for Eric Dubay and people like that making them types of videos. Flatzoid, no excuse, man. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's what's crazy is it's like I'm trying to be super transparent where I'm coming in here a ton and I'm sitting here for hours and I'm fielding all kinds of questions live and I'm repeating myself like hundreds of times and I'm giving all kinds of inside information. I'm answering everyone's questions and going through them and going through the accusations and all this. And that's being used against me now. They're like, oh yeah, the reason Witsit's in here so much is he's like running damage control and all that. So like there's no winning. It's like sure, maybe I should do what everyone else did, would just ignore you people entirely and not even give you answers. You know what I mean?
No,
But
you're doing right. You're doing right, dude. You're doing
Yeah,
right
I don't
because
think you should go
Flatzoid,
that close,
dude, he every single point, dude, he got smashed on every single point.
I know it's
And
crazy
people are gonna
because he
see
just
that,
kept
dude. People
doubling
are gonna see
down.
that because I'm gonna show some of it. So if that starts spreading, and nobody wants to look like he just looked, and that's how people are gonna start looking, especially as more and more stuff comes out, But to me, when you got to Pointus Arenas, and that's what I'm gonna say in my video, that was it. That was enough for me right there. From what I'd already seen, from the 24-hour, I mean, from the two rotations, and then seeing the sun south in Pointus Arenas. In my mind, y'all didn't even have to go to Antarctica. So if it's people holding on to the AE map, then you're gonna have to call our friends, our people, our top people for that matter. You have to call them straight up liars to hold on to what? It's just baffling me, man. But I think a lot of the people, like the people who didn't create the content, like I said, they're just seeing something that and going with it, man. So I'm directing this not toward all their fans and all this. I'm directing this toward the content creators themselves, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, So what's so funny about it is they're saying like the sun doesn't matter what the sun does, and that doesn't prove the globe, it doesn't falsify flat Earth. The Earth measures flat, and what happens in the sky it doesn't matter. It's not it's independent of it and all this stuff. I don't care what it does. It doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't affect flat Earth. And they're turning around and at the same time just basically like claiming it's all fake and Hamlet dismissing all of it, turning their head to it and claiming it didn't happen. So it's like you're kind of contradicting yourself. Like obviously they can both you could think that both are true, but realistically that's not the case. Like you have some type of cognitive dissonance with it being there, or you wouldn't go out on such a limb making such ridiculous claims that you knew it was fake. And then once it's shown to be your claims are shown to be wrong, you just turn into a full-blown glober or like anti-flat earther, basically, not even just a glober, and you just start like doubling down or just deflecting and saying something like what Flatso was doing was insane. You know, like he was saying something, I was directly refuting it, and then he was just taking my words, twisting it, lying about what I had just said 5 seconds earlier, and then claiming I was double speaking and that he was like acting like he's like, oh, I've see, I'm proving that you're lying and stuff. It was just so wild. And I don't know. I don't. I think it's all good though. If there were people like this in the community, then they needed to be exposed. So.
Yeah, that was projection at its finest, man. He was cornered. Like I said, he had an out. He could have took it out when he submitted a little bit to that one claim, and instead he should. I mean, at that point, he should have just took it on the chin right there, a little bit of ridicule, and then move forward. You know, it's progress. So what y'all went and did, dude? Y'all did that for. You didn't do. I mean, you did it somewhat for yourself, but you did it for everybody, for this whole topic, for the subject, for the debate, for progress. And it's like, okay, well, now we know we have more information. Let's see if we can see the best way we can make it work. This is a good moment for everybody. We can test different things and start modeling, trying different shit. You know, everybody can get involved to give their opinions. Instead, you got people like you said, like people who say the sun doesn't even or what's in the sky doesn't even matter. I don't know how much I agree with that, but maybe to a certain extent I'll agree with that. But why would any of them care about whether y'all win or not? Then they shouldn't even give a shit. If you don't care about the sky because it doesn't prove the ground, who cares if Austin and Jaron and Lisbeth went? Who even cares? Doesn't matter. Remember? So that's. But I don't see too many people like that. But there's a couple of them, man. But there's in any of the rooms where there's multiple people, and most of them, dude, somebody's coming in and straightening it out. From what I've heard, like on Vlade or Vida, the dude who did the anti-cathedra mechanism thing. There, one guy come in trying to talk smack, and he got shut down. They most of them, you know, Joe Hamby come in sticking up for you. And then Vida or whatever his name is, he was sticking up for you. But yeah, Flatzoid, I don't know, man. That was a spanking right there, dude.
Well, it's totally not fair. It's like, I mean, why would someone want to like debate me about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I objectively went. So you're claiming I didn't go, but I did go, right? So it's like, what? You want to debate me about? Like, okay, let's debate if you're a man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's debate if you
Prove
live in
it.
a house. Yeah,
Just send the proof.
Yeah.
You know, I know.
one
Like
picture.
live streaming. Sorry, go ahead, dude.
No, I heard pictures can
You
be
only
fake.
need
I
one
actually was
picture to
called.
prove. You only need one
Nope.
picture to prove you're a man.
Nope. Wrong. That's what
I'm
I
trying.
thought. Nope. They said there are
that's out of place.
prosthetics. You'd have to tug on it. You'd have to tug on it because there are prosthetics. That's literally what I
Okay,
was told.
one video of someone.
There you go. There you
We
go.
need to get Brian Leakey to tug on it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not tugging on shit. I'm the tuggee, not the tugger, man. I don't know, man.
Dude, I heard Arwen would perform the science for us.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's funny, man. had one other thing I wanted to say, man. Oh, let me ask you something though. When you got to Pointus Arenas and y'all lined up y'all's compasses and got that straightened out and you seen it was midnight or 11 or 12 o'clock or between, and you seen the horizon lit up like that, and you said, and I heard McToon also say in his video that it's even brighter than the phone is showing. So in your mind, like when you seen that, were you kind of where I was at that point, like that was it right there. Pretty much know what you're gonna see when you get down there.
Yeah, I mean, it was still technically possible in my eyes that that wasn't the sun just doing a circle, right? Because like a coffee cup caustic could be there and then go away as the sun gets far enough away. It wouldn't wrap all the way around or whatever. But yeah, it was like a major step. I was like, what in the world? I'd never seen anything like that, obviously.
So the coffee cup caustic's interesting in that how much it wraps around depends on if it's inside or outside of whatever refracted medium. So like if it's on the inside, you actually get a solid band across the circle of it. But if it's on the outside, then you get this more of like sharp edge that is like two wings, like as if they were wrapped up. You like the common coffee cup caustic you see is that it basically comes to two little points. But if the light's on the inside, it actually wraps all the way.
Yeah, and then
not
also
always,
it's
man.
like
Not always.
well,
Let me say
also
this
it's
real quick.
based on like how
I'm not
close it
saying
is to
always.
the.
I'm just saying there's different kinds. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wanted to say something real quick because Gio mentioned me earlier about what I just drew straight rows of stars, and Austin, I think you have one of them dome paperweights too, and so you basically turn it upside down and you see through the top, and you see the two pole. But so I drew like about 20 rows or maybe about a dozen rows of just straight line stars right on the lines on the paper, and then I put the dome upside down to see what it would look like, and it did wrap fully around. So the next one I'm gonna do is color them different colors to see which ones are which. But you've seen the individual stars wrapping all the way around both sides. But that made me think of like an Enoch model. I mean, like if it's biblical people, like how Enoch says the gates and all that, like if the stars or the sun, whatever is coming from a gate from the east and then going to another gate in the west, it could be doing that straight path and appearing to make the two rotations. But either way, to me, if we see like if you see the sun over across from Antarctica or Pontus Arenas, you see it off in the distance, to me, if it's like southwest of Australia or pretty close to Australia, if everybody went to it, then we just wind up underneath it. I think that's how we need to make the model. It's just there is a rotation, and the sun follows it like it should. And if we head toward the sun, we all wind up underneath it. That just means Australia's in that direction. That doesn't mean that it doesn't debunk a flat Earth. It could in the long run, but they're a long way from that. Like they need to show and then that leads to this, like if they drove a plane across Antarctica toward that sun, who's to say they wouldn't just wind up under the fucking sun? Excuse my language. I'm excited a little bit, but who's to say they wouldn't just wind up under the sun, and everybody else who drove toward that sun would join them? I mean, so that's how we just have to model it. It's more accurate anyway. I've been mapping it for over a year now, and I come to find out there's other people who have modeled it. Tree of Knowledge, he called it the T model or something, and he's had it for like 5 years, man, 4 or 5 years. To my surprise, man, I
I'm
tweaked
not
mine a
sure
little
I'm
bit.
fully
But
following. Do you have anything to send or drop or anything?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, like a visual in the chat.
Yeah.
I follow like part of what you're saying.
Gonna take me just 1 second. Here you go.
Yeah, Witsit, will you check your email? I mean, for me, the message on Discord for me. Thanks.
Sure.
Just verify it.
Let's see. Here we go. Discord live stream 1. Got it. See, I got that. I thought that was the one with the magnifying glass in it, but no, I'll post the one with the paperweight dome in it too. Yeah, and in that one I show a lot of phenomenon that would suggest that this is highly possible. So there's on this model there's still an edge. You know, if you went past Antarctica, or if you went like way south of Hawaii, you hit it. There's still a no man's land, which that doesn't change anything. I mean, that was already in our minds. It's just a little further. There would be a continent of Antarctica, and that's pretty much the azimuthal equidistant map. I think the continents actually look just as good, or maybe a little bit better. The angles are as is, the distances are as is, the longitude, latitudes are as is, except for in my model, I just tweaked the edges a little bit, because to me that's where we'd have play is toward both edges with the as far as coffee cup caustic and like a Walter Bisland's model with the dome that you move around, like you wouldn't need any bendy light at all. They'd lose the double rotation argument, the Globers would, the star. They'd lose the 24-hour sun argument. They'd lose the bendy light argument. They'd lose the distance argument. It'd all be gone in one fell swoop. To me, Dubé gave us that model. Like I said in the video, it's the only place you could put the AE map is over a pole, where you only get one rotation. If you put it anywhere else, you will get two rotations, except directly over a pole. And it seems like that's why they gave it to us. It seems like I'm starting to think, I hate calling people shills or whatever people call them, but it almost seems like he's like a gatekeeper or something, whatever you call it. Like, why did he give us that stuff in the first place? Now he's changing his tune and not even acknowledging he ever even made these claims. To me, with the 24-hour sun and all this stuff, he's like he never even claimed it.
Yeah,
That's
and then now
dishonest,
it's all
man.
fake. It doesn't matter at all, but it was 3 of his proofs, and then he said there was not only not a 24-hour sun, there was no sunlight at all. And now it's like, oh, it doesn't matter at all. Who cares? And then it was, oh, it's all fake.
Like he never even claimed it. Unbelievable.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't know. It just doesn't get said enough. I think that the primary cause of controlling the map is not just the worldview. I think that's something that they just like found useful. I think the primary cause is to control all of the possible land and access to land, resources and whatnot. That is the number one reason that they would do this. And
For sure.
I mean, we might start considering that if this sun rotation isn't compatible, or we can't come up with good enough cause for the way that the sun moves, maybe we should start to look at I mean, like I said, it hasn't been said enough. I think that we should maybe consider something like the moon map or something like that, where we start making other logical deductions that maybe mix in with our thinking. Because if we're just on this one track AE, projection that we're always thinking about, then maybe we're leaving something on the table. And a moon map possibility could have far more land and resource, which would be the absolute number one reason. And also, if there is more land, and that would be the cause they do this, then it's very likely that if there is a larger rotation of the sun, perhaps it would be much simpler to hide land within the visible sun's movement, because you have much larger movement. The same way that they hide the globe within infinite distance. So yeah. I know that's a lot, but
no, it ain't.
It's
moving forward. It's moving forward. Like we can leave something that we thought, and that some people thought, not everybody thought, and move forward with new knowledge. So that's something else to explore. And we can leave. We were pretty much stuck, and we were stuck in the wrong place. And a lot of us had a feeling, even a lot of us who were pointing out some of the bullshit with the Antarctic videos. Still, like me, I knew, looking at the 2-star rotations, I knew that it should. We should see a 24-hour sun deep down. But until they proved it, I just kind of went with the flow. But that just kind of hung us up, man. We can move forward, off of Austin.
I mean, it's still on the table for me. Okay, like I think the AE continental projection actually it's snugly within a moon map, so it is not does not exclude extra land for me. And I'm still open to the idea of the sun making that kind of observation, even in the south, because it all depends on what you consider south and where you are and how the optics work there. I just think that as far as you and I are concerned, it just causes more of a difficulty, because if we are using something like apparent position as not just speculation, but like the reason in a lot of ways, then I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to verify that at any vector. But if we were,
I'm not on board. I'm not really standing behind the parents.
Like, I don't know how far we can go up, but maybe we could travel out to some degree. I don't know. Like, it seems like this traveling thing might be a mechanism we're going to have to use more, and we're going to have to get more people involved with, like, skills that we're essentially sharing with each other, so that we're all basically like efficient with knowing how to use a theodolite, or how to do like not like a kit, but basically if you can travel here, you should know these things, try to do these observations, like something the Man of Stone would do, where he'd say, okay, if you can go over here, check to see the sun angles, set up these spikes in the ground here, and run these tests and stuff. Like, we're going to have to do more stuff in the field, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we can never get too much of that. But check this out. So people who look at my model, like the first couple complaints I got, I quickly corrected them, and that was the distance from Africa to Australia. And then one other thing. But so if you look at the globe map, okay, I mean, if you look at the globe, Google Earth, and you put it right between America and Australia, like, it's just a whole ocean. Like, the whole world is blue, except for at the top right and the bottom left, you see a sliver of land. It's like, dude, that's so if anybody says, what about over here? Well, dude, go to Google Earth and see what's over there. Just one big ass ocean. So you go west and you get to freaking Australia. You go east, I mean, you basically get back to wherever you were. It's the same thing as traveling in circles around your respected pole. But to me, we should have been on this a long time ago, because the way the world's mapped out, in all the cell nav books and all the ephemeris is from the equator. People, flat earthers have been saying from Polaris. Yeah, you can get within half a degree if you use Polaris in the northern hemisphere, or hemisplane, whatever you want to call it. But no, that's not how it's mapped. It's mapped from the sun. North and south, or positive and negative. That's how it's mapped anyway. So why wouldn't we have modeled? And then so we center it near the equator, near the prime meridian, and all of a sudden we got something that looks just like reality from star trail pictures and 24-hour sun, and we don't need apparent shit. Everything about it is better. There's a couple things, it's still a work in progress, but it's 1,000 times better than all this apparent stuff.
How could you test it, though? Now, I do think that apparent optics in the sky, still relevant, but maybe to a different degree, because there could be different layers of mediums, and then different distances. So, like, in one respect, oh yeah, you could have a sun that's like on the other side and refracting to this side. But also you could have a sun that's just slightly off center from where you're at, and still have the same view. It just depends on, your cocktail of how you're explaining it. So in your explanation, like, how do you test it?
Well, you could disprove it if you went a whole lot, a good distance south of Hawaii, but that section of Antarctica is unclaimed, just so happens, and so you'd wind up at so you could, but you'd hit ice, you'd hit an icy realm, even if you did that from Hawaii. But to me, it just so happens that's the red section in Antarctica that's unclaimed by anybody. Yeah, because nobody goes there, and that's where flights have come up lost, is in between Hawaii and Australia, like trying to take that route, and that's where
they call that the NASA graveyard.
Yeah, that's like Nemo. That's no man's land. So, but it does match. So it's just the longitudes and latitudes are lined up. This is what the USGS uses. It's what they use for radar, I mean, they used this azimuthal map anyway. We just thought the whole time they were using this North Pole shit. No, azimuthal equidistant means the azimuth is equally distance from everything, everywhere, all the time. It ain't just the North Pole. What kind of map would that be? Azimuthal equidistant, where it's just the North Pole. It'd be worthless. The AE map, the true map and the function is no matter where something is, it's a circle around it. The azimuth around that spot is going to be equidistant from everywhere around it. You know, not just one spot. You know, and so this lines up with reality, good enough to skip a few arguments. You know, I don't know. They could disprove it. They'd have to do some crazy shit. Like they'd have to send somebody south from Hawaii to the wall, to the actual boundary, and have them meet with somebody in actual Antarctica down there. But like I said, directions work out. This should have been our model or map, whatever, our style of map a long time ago.
I don't know. There were a lot of possibilities out there, you know.
I mean, if we're gonna go by longitude and latitude, you know, and GPS and all that stuff.
Well, we didn't have confirmation until recently that this was even a thing in the South. So, you know, now, you know, actually, this is a problem. It's actually a problem for the globe, because as soon as we find something that works, they're going to be sweating, hoping that we can't test it. They're going to be sweating. And I promise you, there's going to be some autists that are going to be working hard on this. And they're going to figure something out. Like it's just inevitable. Like they've opened Pandora's box now. Like, oh, like we're not stuck to this one map. Oh, now we're screwed, because they're going to figure out whatever it really is. Like these people aren't going away. We're not going anywhere.
Right. You know, they
maybe some people already have.
Made it out. Sorry, good.
Well, and you know what? If they have figured it out, then you know, let them come forward, or let them show their evidence. And you know,
maybe they're not here anymore either.
I don't. Well, like there's all these concave people coming in saying "I told you so" and stuff like that. Like,
oh yeah, I know.
They can't even like really explain their own model, or how you could see, because like they're basically stuck on the map, right? So if their map is inverted, they're stuck on that map. How is the celestial sphere with this black void behind it with consistent left to right star formations? How is that supposed to be able to invert the sun or the moon if you're antipodal, if you have that big obstruction in the center? It doesn't make any sense, actually. So
it's better than
these
the globe
people,
to me, though, just because of the gravity part of it. You know,
I
like
mean,
if you did live on the inside, that would explain the number one question. That's the force. But I want to say one more thing real quick, Rich. One more thing real quick. I posted the latitude and longitude lines before I tweaked the edges any, and if you put that on a dome, if you put that over a dome, it would be a perfect freaking two poles. You know, it would almost look like
it.
Walter Bisley. Yeah, I posted one, and then the one before that.
Your thumbnail.
I think they both show it. They both show the longitude, latitude lines before I did anything to them, and did my own Cancer and Capricorn. And Equator.
So this is you've reorganized. This is what you've done.
Just the edges.
Okay.
Slightly.
Well, let me pop this open then.
Wait,
because that's where it wouldn't be proof. You know, that's where there's a lot of anomalies anyway. That's where the questions would be. So no matter what, even if it was Gleason's, or North Pole centered like Gleason's, we would have to do something with the longitudes to fix Australia's width and shit. You know.
I mean, how do you deal with the star trails in this though?
Or this, like, can you explain the sun too, like a little bit better? I don't really understand where the sun is, I guess, on this north-south map.
The south circle is Capricorn, and the north circle is Cancer, and so see, I have to do it all in one fell swoop because I don't have the animation capability. But it's going to be gradual, so it's going to get closer and closer toward the equator, and you could do the equator in the north or the south, or even both. It doesn't matter. But I feel like it'd be one or the other where it makes a jump because it's got to be a defined spot unless there was some kind of polarization where we seen one thing and they see another. I don't need that though. So I'll put it in the south because I think the south is a little bit bigger, and then so it's during their year it's getting wider and wider toward the equator, and then right past equinox it figure eights. It basically goes to the other side and starts working its way inward, and that's what we see. Like we see the sun start to get further and further south, and them from down there they start to see the sun get further and further north. But like I said, I had to do it all in one fell swoop, like from the extremes. I have it going from Cancer, bam, one fell swoop to the equator and equinox, and then to Capricorn. That's not how it would work. It'd be gradually working its way out. But
Is it the yellow ring
there would be
and the
actual
yellow ring?
separation. There would
Is
be
it-
actual separation in the star trails at a point way out in bumfuck ocean.
Is it the yellow ring and the yellow ring? Is that like the two
Yeah.
paths?
Yeah, I put 23.4 on both of my on one of the videos and yeah, one's Cancer, one's Capricorn. That's they're lined up over right where they're supposed to be, over the continents and stuff. And same thing with the equator, it's passing over right where it's supposed to. But I thought that because I've been messing with this for like a little over a year and stuff, and just because of the star rotations and whatnot. And I thought that after Austin and Jaron went, if they seen the 24-hour sun, then I could get some more people focused on this and get some people skilled with computer programming and stuff, and to model this out better, because mine's obviously just kind of a crude version. And like Shane said, this is already, this ain't nothing new. This is just a equatorial position azimuthal map, and it's just better in every way. It's still basically the same thing. And like I said, I made a few adjustments, but then if we had somebody who could animate it, then we could start critiquing it better and start lining it up better, and then figure out some tests to falsify it or strengthen it. But everybody's arguing about whether Austin and Jaron went. It's killing me, dude. I think it'll pass.
It seems like what they're trying to do is ruin any possibility that flat Earth can move forward in 2025. It's like their main goal right now is that they're trying to basically shit on Austin and all of his reputation before he gets on all these platforms. Now, they may not know they're doing this, but the people who, in my opinion, the people who set up the final experiment also set up the media outlets to open the door for Austin.
Propaganda. Yep.
So I think maybe they just happen to have this 10-year plan to send people down there, send them with a cooked answer from the beginning, from whoever the content creators were, so that people would have a false identification of the South. And then now they're just running the last part of the experiment, which is the media campaign, which is obviously going to come after it. And the more vitriol that they can juice out of our own people, the better.
Yeah. Let me see something. I'm gonna DM this to you and Austin, and this is the second one that I posted. That way later on you can watch it when you get a minute. It's pretty interesting, dude. I point out this is the video where I actually plead my case, and I even left a couple things out, but all the things that it would indicate this map, just evidence for it anyway. But I'll DM it to you, and you could look at it later, man.
Yeah, I did tell you that, Rick. My prediction is that a lot of these flat earthers are gonna love me again in like 3 months. Or pretend to. I guess
Let's hope that's the case, man.
Pretend to. because they obviously never actually did, right? Just stabbed me so fast. But
I don't believe it, dude. Gee whiz, they did. They're like, what, dude? This is fucking Austin. What are y'all doing? This just is baffling, dude. Like, this is the guy who goes in all the rooms and is totally transparent and defends us to the hilt, dude. Like, everybody just turns a quick. But like I said, I'm blaming it on just the little handful of content creators, and all the rest of everybody else is just ignorant.
You making a list, Austin? You know, keeping track of everyone who slighted you.
Well, I'm not gonna forget them, but I'm trying not to be like too much like they know. But obviously, I'm not gonna like trust these people. But I'm just saying, like for example, say the Candace Owen thing goes really well, right? And then like future shows go really well, or I'm able to pull off really big shows. I really defend Effie very well, and I'm very convincing, and it all goes smooth, and we pull off some really big shows out of it somehow, and 2025 ends up being really big. You know, they're gonna double back. So,
Yeah.
I mean, some of them won't. Some of them will go even harder, and
Keep
then
doing what you do,
that's
man.
proof
Keep doing what
I'm an agent. Or
Well,
if you
people
keep
are
doing what
probably
you
gonna
do,
accuse you.
anybody with any kind of discernment will come to the right conclusion. You know.
Yeah, for real.
I'm guessing the narrative is gonna be when like most people find out you're gonna be on Candace is, oh, that's when he's gonna announce that he's a Glober.
well, we'll definitely say that's confirmation I'm an agent. But it's like if I'm like presenting like really legit arguments, like what even is their narrative? Like, oh, he's an agent. He went on the trip and lied about going on the trip and then went on big shows and like totally stillmanned our position really well. Well, like what's their narrative there?
Good question. I don't know what their
Anyone who
goal.
steelmans the globe so well must be a Glober. That might be their
Oh,
narrative.
Nah, the only reason you're up there is because you're an agent.
yeah, but I'm saying what does that accomplish if I'm representing Flat Earth very well in terms of the debate?
Yeah, exactly. You're so
control
if you're an
opposition.
agent. Sorry, go ahead.
You just control
All right, let's see
opposition.
if you're an agent though, so what kind of agent would you be? Because you've brought in a lot of flat Earth, like as many as anybody has. Maybe not David with his app and all that stuff, but maybe I don't know. Like you've convinced more people. So am I to understand that they've got an agent selling flat Earth with a full-time passion? Like, come on, man.
I can see the argument that they did that so that I could then turn on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see that sales pitch, like this idea that I'm going to come out as a Glober, and then they can run the narrative like, look, one of their best debaters even turned. Like, I get that.
Maybe
Like,
they're even counting on that.
I mean,
do it.
that one guy that came in, he was like, he hasn't even said anything. Yada yada yada. I'm a subscriber. I've trusted him, and he hasn't even put up a video or got that. It's pretty much that. I believe. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what will be their play.
Well, that's why I know actually just the live stream itself, which I guess is what it's going to be tomorrow, will do a lot. Dropping the videos and all the data will do a lot. A bunch of it, I think, it looks like it's going to all happen tomorrow. It's New Year's Day. Pretty awesome timing, actually. Start 2025 off directly with all that, but
I mean, shit.
you know,
Like, where did you even get to store a 1 point something terabyte in the web? That's a lot of freaking. I mean, you have to get down. You have to have your own server for that point.
I'm just like really trying to understand what they're going to say. I know it's kind of stupid to try to reason with if someone's like constantly just making unfalsifiable, like insane claims, like you can't really debunk them, you know? But I'm just curious, like what could even, because like if you saw when I talked to Flatstone, I'm like, so wait, what is your point even right now? Like when I walked away to get the snow, people were claiming that was proof I was in the studio because it was a pile of fake snow. But then I pick up snow right by the computer, and they just cut that part of the clip off because obviously you can't say that I had to walk away to pick up fake snow if I actually then didn't have to walk away. So like what even is your claim? Because they're having to tactically omit the like next 10 seconds of the clip so they can blatantly lie about it. So like, what is your point? What does it prove? Like, what are you saying? And he was never answered the question. And I'm like, okay, you're claiming that I had to fake my breath because I'm really not in Antarctica. What about the stream where I am talking and you see my breath the whole time? I was in Antarctica for that video, but not the other one. Like, what is the claim? Or like, if I was doing that to fake trick you, then why'd I take 2 deep breaths right after that? Right. And like when you
But it
start
shouldn't even
asking
go that
questions
far
about
off.
like, but I'm saying
Shouldn't
when you
even
start
go that
asking,
far.
my point though is that when you start asking questions where you're like, actually like, wait, what exactly is it that you're saying? Did I go to Antarctica? I didn't go to Antarctica. I did, but that we faked it there anyway. There was a studio in Antarctica that we filmed in 6 months. Like, what are you saying? None of them can ever answer any questions. Like, what does me
Right.
walking around and picking up the snow prove? Like, none of them can answer it. So it's
Well,
Right.
like, so you're just kind of being a liar at that point.
I'm
even though
totally being a
you've
liar.
dismissed like all of their claims, like even though you've dismissed all of our claims, Austin, you still set a bad example for children by smoking a vape.
Mm.
No, I'm sure you're smart enough to. That's messed up. They doxed you like that, like with personal shit, you know, in the first place, especially in being wrong. But I want to say this. I know you're smart enough to pin everybody down who's got balls enough to question you, you know, and make insinuations. I'm sure you're smart enough to pin them down. But yeah, don't forget, keep doing that. And I'm just only saying that just to keep it fresh in your mind. Keep doing that. Ask them what is your claim and what's your ultimate goal and why do you care if you know, say, I'd ask some of them, like, hypothetically, what is your claim after, let's say you did prove I didn't go, then what? Are you trying to cling on to the AE map? I mean, you got your own ways of doing that, but yeah, make sure you keep doing that, because that's what made him look ridiculous, man. That's what to me would have me thinking, like, damn, you know, why won't I answer this question? He's asking me this over and over, and you know, he knows he's avoiding it, and everybody else
Yeah,
who
that's what I'm
avoids
trying to
it
understand.
as
Like, what's
well.
going on in this guy's mind?
That's what I
But
said
I
in
didn't.
here about a month ago with the Glovers. I was like I promised myself, man, I'll be as honest as possible with this moving forward. And if there's questions that I'm asked that I won't answer, I'm trying to recognize that. And so I suggested that they do the same. And I said, I can ask, and they were like, oh, well, and I said to the Glover, I was like, I can ask you a question right now that you won't answer. I forgot who it was. And he said, no, you can't. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me? And I asked him a question. First question, dude. I said, at what height going straight up would something stop spinning with the Earth? And automatically started going into the argument instead of understanding my point. Is that, dude, you're not going to answer it. You're going to just move away and this and that. And it was funny because he exampled it for me perfectly. But that was just one off the top of my head. There's so many questions. But I think we need to be the same way. If there's a question that we're, you know, if any, that we're not answering directly or to the best of our ability, then or sometimes just I don't know is the right answer. And I think we can all learn a little bit from that. If it's something we're dodging, maybe we need to stop and think a little bit, no matter Glober, flat earther, true earther, whatever.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
but Witsit, didn't I call it that the 24 hours in Antarctica was gonna be the best thing for flat Earth? It's a lot better than what I thought, because I mean we got to find out a lot more information with other people, you know, and see who's the sullets and whatnot. But I mean it's eye opening to see how many were on this side. That was kind of weird as well.
No, no, it's actually cool because we would have maybe never known. So,
What's
you
do
know,
you
but
think
like,
I have a quick question. Do you think it's possible that the people that kind of came up with the World Health Organization flag and the UN map and all that, do you think it's possible that they didn't know that that was wrong? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, do you think it's possible they were just like sold that that was actually what it was, and they were like lying to the public
mm,
about that, but they were
mm,
actually wrong?
nah, I think it's maybe like just purely deception. Everything about the organization is deception. If you want to try to portray the globe, if you want to show everything that would be on their globe, you have to like flatten it some way. That you just flatten with a singular pole. Where, like he said, you can just move it around and get a more accurate, viable depiction, maybe so.
Right.
Or Or maybe there's
Just
something we don't
that's like your
understand where
reward,
that
man.
is still that is still it, right on. It's still on the table for me actually. And one thing I want to say though, just with the if I forget, remember the Flatso thing? You're talking about him not answering the questions. You remember that at one point he just blatantly projected and said, "Notice how Witsit's not answering any of my questions and he's avoiding
Did that a
all of them." He
couple
had,
times. He did that a
yo,
few times, man. But yeah,
what
that
the
one time was
answered your
so
same
blatant, dude.
questions like 37 times. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm
but
so glad. I was just yelling in my own head, like, but it had already happened. But I was like, dude, point out that he is not answering any of your questions, not any at all. And dude, right after I said that, you're like, dude, you're not answering any of my questions at all. I was like, dude, you don't miss a beat, bro.
I did get a little bit. Yeah, I could have been a little bit more controlled. Probably, I called him retarded a few times and stuff. And then
Yeah, at the beginning.
I took the low blow of like his channel. He's like,
You are a better
I
man
have
than
200.
me.
You got a
I would
calm
have called him
reputation.
worse than retarded.
Yeah, but here's
Valid
the thing,
king.
Austin. You got a good calm reputation. You always keep a level head, and it's not like you flipped off the handle. But that shows you're passionate, dude. That like if people try to compare this to like moon shit, you didn't hear any of the astronauts with passion like that arguing it, which is kind of dumb to say, but still that's gonna make people think twice before making insinuations right to your damn face, dude. Like how are you supposed to react when somebody's insinuating something that you know is false right to your face with people
I mean,
listening?
it's
It's
one of
like,
the most egregious accusations you can imagine. It's like, especially as like a truther that tries their best to like pride themselves in being transparent, honest, and if they're wrong about something, coming and admitting that they're wrong or whatever, and like really like letting you guys peek more into my life than like most people ever would, and stuff like that, right? And it's like the idea of being a truther. Like the most egregious accusation that you can make is that I like sold my soul and decided to completely deceive like millions of people and just am like the worst of the worst and just like basically a Satanist almost and just faking everything and elaborately deceiving people. It's like, could you
yeah,
make much worse of an accusation?
no,
Like
you couldn't.
maybe
You
like
couldn't.
pedophilia or something, or like hurting children, but like it's right up there with some of the worst accusation you could possibly levy against someone. And these
It's
people
the
are
worst
just doing it
accusation for
like
a
it's
normal
no big
person,
deal.
dude. For any normal person, like I ain't talking about psychopathic shit like that, like the pet. But I'm saying for any normal person, yeah, to just try and chop their integrity off at the at the stump, man, or the ankles, like that dude. I'm a stickler with that. Like I try to humble myself, man, and it's becoming apparent who's in this arena and who's humble and who's not. If somebody's not can't humble themselves, then man, I don't have much for him, man. I'm not gonna follow him much or support him much or anything, man. It's like I might hear some of their information, but if you can't humble yourself, and there's a couple people out there who just won't do it. Like they're just I hate that type of person, the know-it-all type personalities, man. And you've humbled yourself so many times just in here. I mean, not like a million times like you're always wrong, but when there was something you needed more research on, dude, you've immediately come out and said it, and that next time you joined, or even sometimes the same stream, a couple times. And it's like I don't know, man. It's just baffling. They're trying to just clip your integrity, like you sold your soul. You put it perfect. Like, what do you think this young man who just went around the country for spending his own money and whatever he could get to try and show truth and spread truth, and you got all these old buffoons freaking just trying to clip your integrity. It's ridiculous. There's nothing worse they could do. I'm
And like
surprised you kept your goal as good as you did.
even much less about me. Like I seriously mean this. Like I'm very desensitized to like betrayal. I know that almost sounds dark, but yeah, totally true, bro. Like super. I am probably borderline unhealthy in terms of how desensitized to that I am. So there are some that still I kind of feel in this scenario, but like it's just, bro, like there's not many better people it could have happened to. Seriously, like I'm like so desensitized to it. I look at it almost like a movie or something, and I'm like I'm able to largely detach from it and stuff. But like, my wife maybe not as much, but she's also actually very good at it. So
well,
anyway,
you can't blame her, man. She's gonna defend. It's gonna hit her worse, seeing them do it to you than it probably would herself.
yeah, that's
That's
what I
how they
mean.
are.
Yeah,
That's how a loyal woman is, man.
and I would be the
They're gonna.
same way with her, right? Like it'd be way different if people were really going all out at her or something. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is like it's like I'm being so honest about this. It's actually much less about me. I'm literally viewing this like just like sad for the overall community. Now I know actually it's like a good thing in the long run, and it's like growing pains, and it's like I said, you'd rather mow the grass, get the quality over quantity, get the snakes out. They're the weak links. Like if we're about to hit the main stage, like you'd rather have 50 really like solid people than like 500 like
True that.
90% lame weak people. Um, and many other things that are good for us, right? I've said them a million times, but it is embarrassing right now for our community. I think it's just very bad, and I just know that they really have nothing. Like that side is against the truth,
That's why they
and
had to do this, because they have nothing.
Most of them are just ignorant,
yeah,
man.
well,
Hey,
yeah, and their side's against the truth, and their side's like really, I mean, largely against the creator. And I got confirmation that for sure, like the creator had our back or whatever, and so I'm like, yo, like, why are you guys doing this? They have nothing, and you're giving them something. And so I'm trying to trust the creator. Like I know this is kind of all like bigger than me or whatever, but it's like you're giving them exactly what they need. Where like they already got to take their little like illusory victory lap, and I had already thought it all out. I was just gonna dunk all over it. And I'm still gonna do that in terms of the debate. But
I
it's
got one
like
last
you
thing to ask
gave
real
them
quick.
real fast.
Sorry, go
You
ahead.
gave them like a whole nother victory lap where they get to sit back and act like they've been vindicated of all the other things they've been saying about us this whole time,
Yeah, I know,
right?
man.
Where they're just like, and they can just be like, look, you could never convince flat earthers. They deny all evidence. Look at it, and they can compare
That
it
does
to,
make us look stupid, but
yeah,
all of
moon
us.
landing claims, ISS claims. They can compare it to all kinds of all the other evidence, and just
That's
showing,
why
look,
what
see,
you're
flat
doing is
earthers don't
good, man.
understand basic things like shadows. Like, of course they don't know the earth is a ball and all this stuff. And then the second thing, real fast, is that it deters other people from ever wanting to come out and to kind of like step out on that limb as say someone that's a big content creator and talk about flat earth. Why would they do that?
Yeah, I know, but that's why you're doing right by speaking up and everything, and keeping a level head, as well as could be expected. But hey, I wanted to ask you to, if you don't mind, I wanted to ask Kai like a few questions to put in the video, just like personal questions, just and let her defend the damn truth and her husband at the same time. If you could ask her, I mean, obviously not tonight, but one day in a week or so, if she could just give me like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and I just want to just have a little chit chat just from the perspective from her, because that's going to be powerful. Like she knows you, dude. She knows you were there, and she's sharp as a fucking tack. And I just want to get her input on what's going on and everything, just because I want to include everything in this video, and so anybody who watches it is going to come to the right conclusion. You know what I'm saying? So ask her if she wouldn't mind giving me 10 minutes or so, if she's willing to do that, and you could tell her why. That's the ultimate goal, is to get the truth out there and shut some of these people up, who, especially the people who are ignorant and they don't know any better, because they're just seeing these ignorant content creators who've lost their minds, in my my opinion.
Yeah, I thought to her, bro. I don't think that they've all lost their minds though. I think that some of them are actually liars. And then people need to come to grips with that fact though.
Now, can I just ask, like, what is the point in defending any of this?
Because there's so many
It's that
people
there
out
are
there who don't know, who
yeah.
are just
Yeah.
seeing flat, just or seeing Brazil and all these people they don't know. They haven't looked into it. They're just listening to them and trusting them, and it needs to be, once I put this out, a couple other people can mirror, and so it's going to get around to them, and they can get the real account of what happened, and it's so powerful that it's going to be almost instantaneous enlightenment,
Yeah, that's
Well,
actually my answer too.
the problem though is that these people are behaving exactly like globalists. So it's like So no matter what you do, no matter what you say, it's not going to change anything in their head. So they'll come up with whatever they want, and you can defend it, you can accept it, you can do whatever. You can come up with hit pieces to go against them. You can come up with something that's saying, "Oh, this is the true," or whatever. But it's not going to change them, and from their perspective, it's only going to make it seem like you're trying harder to make it seem real. So actually just letting these people, I guess, go, right? You're an idiot, blah blah blah. I mean, they're in the end, real people will see what the truth is.
Yeah, I think this
Okay.
is why you guys argued that, like Jaren getting, I mean, basically like humiliated. People said that it was good for flat Earth. Like, ridicule was like the only way to bring flat Earth to the public, and it's a good thing that like Jaren's on the news looking stupid. But when the flat earthers in here make flat earthers look stupid, according to you guys, then it's bad. But when Jared does it, it's a good thing.
I
No,
never
man.
thought it
When
was. I never thought
does
it
it,
was.
it brings in people, man. But they got to get the truth. Like just seeing Jaron on the news or seeing Behind the Curve and all that, dude. I mean, as a content creator, it brought in a lot of people, a lot of subs. So, and they're a lot of people who join this, they want to hear the truth. They want to hear both sides of stories, and so it's important that we show the
Okay, wait. Let
the
me
real
answer
what
this.
happened.
Yeah.
Okay, the huge difference between those two things, dude. Okay, so you have the mainstream saying something about, say, Jaron or whoever, and just like with Trump, the Trump effect, the mainstream lies about him, brings this story to their attention of someone that maybe would just not care less about Trump. Now they're like, is that true? And they feel they need to go look into it. And they find out that they completely lied and misrepresented him. And now they've made Trump bigger. That's totally different, where the mainstream largely discredited always lies. Them saying something, then them making their way to like the real flat earth community to try to hear the actual other side, right? And then seeing like crazy insanity and thinking that that's what the real flat earthers are. Those are entirely different things.
I mean, aren't the majority of flat earthers like on like Twitter or whatever? I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know. But aren't the majority of flat earthers like saying this is fake and like anti this whole thing?
It's kind of weird. I mean, are there globalists yet that have come in to say that it isn't fake, or are they just like, yeah, it's real?
I think they just say it's real. Actually, no, some of them say it. The people saying it's fake are ridiculous.
I mean, the first video I saw was like a hit piece kind of against the trip, like saying it was fake. And then the first like I have a dog shit kind of family for the most part, and the first thing I hear from one of them is that he said something about Jaren, who I barely even know, and he's like, your boy like got embarrassed or whatever. I don't even really follow him. And so
Yeah.
it was really clear to me that they were pushing it pretty heavily. And the first video I saw like made the trip look like it was fake, you know what I mean? So that was like my first impression. You know?
Yep. I think a lot of the people's like Eric Dubay as an example. I think he's just very obviously like an agent. Um, and he's trying to say that there's like specific things in the footage that show that it's all fake. And I just think that that's like a false dialectic. Like that's like they're trying to make the people that are supposedly, claiming this whole thing is fake. They're trying to make that side look stupid by bringing up vaping Like, I just think that it's just a stupid argument to entertain.
What was your main question? Like, why? Yeah, just actually just go ahead and say it again, if you could.
No, I mean, it's not really a question. It's just like people are just saying that, like it's totally cool and Jaren gets made to look stupid, and it like ends up being really good for Flat Earth, like Elbow and Brian. I think Brian Leakey said that too. A lot of people say this is going to be one of the best things for Flat Earth and all that stuff. And then when the Flat Earthers the other Flat Earthers that are less popular are spiraling out, people are like trying to attack them when they're just doing the same thing.
I think this might be something to do with like I think this is just somewhat like a small misunderstanding of like the shit I was saying the other day, where I was saying I would much rather have like 100 idiots out there instead of like 10 gurus or something like that. And the difference in that explanation is that if there are 100 opportunities, I would like 100 gurus, right? But if there are not 100 opportunities and you could only choose idiots, then, I mean, regardless of how you work the numbers, more impressions is going to get more of a response. It's simple advertisement. Like it's simple, like statistics. Not to say that I want that. It's just a matter of like, yes, certain types of themes get like views and like engagement and stuff. So like some guy committing a huge fail, yeah, people are going to click the shit out of that, right? Like I love people eating shit through my shorts. I love YouTube that. Shorts and stuff. Like that's comedy, you know.
Eating feces is great content.
I figured you'd like that one. It's a little double entendre for you.
Yeah, I mean, like the circus brings people, and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's just going on at like a smaller scale than like Jaren on the mainstream news, and basically the same effect.
Yeah. The thing is, it's tough, man, because like we don't really get to control like who gets those impressions. You know, at least up until today, like it seems like mostly like no-namers have been like the flat earthers that end up being on TV and whatnot, or getting on these shows and things. You know, minus the behind the curve incident. Like those are people that we kind of knew, but dude, I can think of so many times where there's like, oh, interview with a flat earther. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? You know, like it's just you're like rolling the dice so hard because this motherfucker could literally say anything. Anything could come out of this dude's mouth, and you're just like, well, let's see what happens here. You know, but you know, even still, good or bad, more people heard the term flat earth. And at some point, they're going to want to be like, okay, well, what do these guys really believe? And they're going to want to like look into it. They're going to find the anti-flat earthers, right? They're going to find the McToon, the whoever, this guy. And if they actually are scientifically minded enough, they're going to actually learn our names because McToon has talked about this server, talked about Austin, he's talked about all these people, and eventually the most curious of them all, they're going to make their way in here. So it really just, I mean, it's just
any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah,
good, yeah, kind of, but also like not really, but yes, yeah,
kind of, not really, but yeah, is
it's
actually but Witsit, would you plug this server if you get on like Owen Benjamin or something like that?
He stepped away.
I came here for him to say hello to him, to ask him a couple questions in good faith.
He didn't vape. Give it up.
I'm not.
Aeon, do I know who
Unbiased
you are?
observer. Sorry?
Greetings. It's been a long time, friend.
It's been a long time, Riggs. So sorry for what I did to you in the past.
You don't need to say anything. Good to hear your voice. Happy New Year.
Yes, I do need to say something, and Happy New Year.
So, do you think the trip's fake or what?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't think the trip is fake. I have some issues with the video, but I have issues with a lot of videos. I just want to know what those problems are and why they happened.
I want to know why Dave Weiss filmed the drone in the street. Does anybody know?
Pardon?
Dave Weiss. There's a video where he filmed the drone in the street, and I didn't know what I was looking at.
He was showing the radar sensor or like the proximity sensor on the drone.
Yeah.
So as it was flying near and around McToon, the drone was flying away towards McToon and it started beeping again. So whenever it's in proximity of something, then it starts beeping.
So that it means the video's fake because the drone was beeping. Is that what people were saying?
No. They're not saying the video is fake. They're saying that the drone was flying near the green screen or the projection screen or whatever. But literally, like, he was flying the drone past McToon so that McToon could record it. So it started beeping again as it flew past him.
So I took that frame by frame. I found the drone shadows, so I'm going to say that's 100% real. I'm not sure what people were talking about the drone shadow. You find it where it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is totally what we need is people doing like what you just said.
Well, truth
And
stands up to scrutiny, no matter how deep the scrutiny is. Right? I'm an unbiased observer. I brought in 2 other people to analyze the videos with me because when I first saw the midnight video, I noticed an issue. I was excited to see a 24-hour sun. I had no skin in the game. And then I noticed some issues, so I did a frame by frame deep analyzation of multiple videos. And I'm like, okay, that passes, that's fine. The compression of snow, I can verify myself. That actually is something that you don't necessarily leave footprints on. And that's a very complicated movie set, if that's a movie set.
yeah.
Now, did you follow the truck when it left?
Did you know that I am working on finishing up being able to upload a 25-hour long 4K 360 video?
That sounds amazing. And hi, Witsit. I actually came here to say hello to you.
Hey.
Hey.
Thanks for
Antarctica?
helping. It was cool. It was cool, and then it was time to go.
It was cold.
Yeah, and it just like was dry, and I didn't sleep much, and it's super bright. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it really like drains you.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that where.
Hey, how tall?
What does this mean for the flat Earth?
Did you hear her talking?
Can I ask how tall McToon is?
Did you guys not like literally hear her talking?
I thought she was done.
No.
Well,
I had a friend.
I know you're going to get
up
into something, but
in the area where the sun doesn't really set for over 12 hours, and they just have a lot of sunlight. So I know what Witsit's talking about. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, and
I
it's
do
just
have a
so
couple
bright.
questions though, just from a technical perspective. I don't think your video's fake. I just want to understand. So when I was taking a look at McToon, I noticed in the midnight video, if you look at his toque, you see this odd blue casting where it appears that the edge of that fades in and out of the background. Now, I've seen that on in that midnight video, on every person had that sort of casting. The hair looked like it was masked out. Is that an attribute of Toon's really weird chroma key setup where it could have caused that type of artifacting and only near the blue sky?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've watched none of his content.
I wonder if I can post it.
Squirrel.
I don't have power, no. Otherwise, I'd post you the videos.
Yeah, but if you can remember to send it to me, I'll happily look at it. Like, did you see anything like that in like the other videos?
No, that's the thing. So only in the midnight video did I notice that, and it was through the whole video with everybody that was in the video. And then I looked at the following video, which is there are no green screens in Antarctica, and I didn't see any of those issues, though I did see
Oh,
a
so the
predator
McKeegan
reflection in his
video?
glasses.
Was it like when
Yeah.
you said the midnight? So the McKeegan video. Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I don't know.
midnight
I mean,
sun.
yeah, that was a 360 cam, so it could have something to do with that.
No,
I
not
don't
that
know.
one. Oh, let
Oh.
me get it for you. I'll just send it to you. I
But it's the
think I have it.
48-second, 24-hour long video. I mean, 24-hour time lapse.
No,
Can we
no,
get it
hold
linked
on.
in the live stream
It's
text?
super easy. I'll just go right to YouTube and grab it
Okay.
because I was analyzing this for a couple days actually.
I love that people are doing. See, I think that true devotion to trying to get to the bottom of everything, like what's going on with the earth and all that. Flat earthers kind of we're in a people that kind of can tell intuitively or even have seen enough evidence to know that it was legit or whatever. Still, we kind of have the unfortunate burden of having to hold the hands of the people that need to see more, need to have their questions answered, and we need to like kind of all work together to really try to, you know what I'm saying, like quelch the uh whatever, get to the bottom of it, right? I mean, just like get to the bottom of everything. That's what I think. I'm trying my best to do that, but at this point, I feel like I'm just having to repeat myself 1,000 times.
Yeah, Witsit,
So
I see that. If you take a look at the link I just sent, and then when you go to the very first part where he starts talking, if I could post stuff on this server, it would help. But I can actually take YouTube on my laptop, zoom in on the actual video, and there are some weird things going on with specifically just the head. And you're seeing that with everybody that's talking. Is that an attribute of the chroma key filter that he accidentally left on? Because it's the same video where the chroma key filter was on, where it shows his background. But this is
okay,
just normal blue sky.
I would say already yes, but let me look. Let me actually look. I'm trying to look at exactly what you're saying. I'm on my phone, so I have to go
Yeah,
away
zoom
from the
in.
PC to see it.
Yeah, you have to actually zoom in on where his toque is. And just zoom in, I don't know, say about 80%, and then forward a couple frames.
Can someone give her roles so she can post and we can see what she's talking about?
Post a
Yeah,
link.
that would be
Okay, yeah,
awesome.
I totally do see it. Yes, it looks like the green screen. Because what it is
Yeah,
a
it
green
does.
screen filter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not an actual green screen; it's a virtual one. So I could
I
actually.
understand the virtual green screen. How do we explain that though? Like,
That's
how do I explain that? Because that
so
was
gray
hard.
and green are actually, I don't know if it's like it has something to do with the green screen. Basically, gray and green are like very similar as far as the algorithm, like detecting the colors on the screen. So I noticed that too. Like when the green patch on John the cameraman, he he had the TFE in his pocket. If you noticed, it's the same aberration at the top of like anything gray is going to have that fuzz around it because it thinks that it's green.
So I could actually try to test this right now because obviously I could go over to my computer and I could turn on the virtual green screen. I need to find something gray, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
To where?
Yeah, but the thing that's bothering me about it is it's only in this video and it's only on the sky. I'll show you another clip where the lady is speaking and you can see it masking out her hair.
To me, it makes sense, right? Because it is a virtual green screen. So like it is always interacting with your background. Right, like that's how it works, and so, like, the colors of your background drastically change its ability to work, because in my office, depending on what angle I move or if I move out from in front of certain things in my background, it starts kinda glitching out, and you see this, like, morphing effect that, like, merges somewhere in between the green screen and the actual background.
I also have to ask about this. Take a look in her glasses. I can zoom up more if needed.
Was he using OBS or Streamlabs?
I think what he's using is, like, his webcam has a virtual chroma key function, and then he connected that to Streamlabs or no, what's it called? StreamYard.
Yeah, let me just chroma key or
Which I can
whatever you
obviously
call
get
it.
all the different answers or inside information, or at least what they're gonna say, because I'm always gonna say it from like as neutral a perspective as I can say, because obviously I know it's all legit. But like I can get what he would say. I just largely at the time, bro, I didn't care. I'm like, I knew I was there. I didn't feel good, and the fact that so many people were saying it was fake, I was just like, I didn't care. They cared way more about convincing you guys it was real. Like Jaren and I and Lise were just like, "Are you kidding me?" You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I didn't like fully investigate that. I looked at it very quickly, and I'm like, why would people think we're using a green screen if where the green screen glitches out, it shows your TFE background you always use. It doesn't show Antarctica. If you were using the
Yes,
screen to fake
but
Antarctica, that would have popped up on his jacket, not some random other logo.
yes,
Yeah,
but there
and the thing is
was.
that since the thing is with that hat is like the grayish green, so the chroma key will definitely pick it up, like thinking it's probably close to the green screen
Hey,
color.
sorry to interrupt, but happy anniversary, or what are we doing right now? New Year's? Happy New Year's, guys. It just
What
hit
were you
us
saying?
right.
The other thing? What
Oh,
about our
Happy New
glasses?
Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, bro. What were you saying about the glasses?
Okay, so in the midnight video, we have a lower light reflection, and in the green screen video, we have a higher light reflection. So the reason I brought that up is I just wanted to understand the phenomena. I don't know, how much brighter was it during the green screen video than the midnight sun video?
Mm, I don't remember any. I was delirious. Like, I would have to look at the video to be honest. Like the 360. I
Yeah.
don't remember. Yeah, like I honestly don't remember. Like people are asking me like, "Hey, at two," and I'm not saying you're doing this necessarily, but like people are like, "Hey, at 2:30, what? How bright was it? What temperature was it? And what elevation angle was the sun?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I didn't know when 2:30 was." Like I was like, I'll be very transparent. I was like delirious, and so was Jaron. That's why I try to go to Jaron and say, "Bro, try to be like careful with what you say." And then he went up there. He's like, "Sometimes you're wrong."
Hey, Witsit, another question for you about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So you were saying it's a virtual green screen, and I can understand that. I used to work in film. One of the things that is a little weird when I'm looking at this female and I'm looking at her hair. If we're talking about a virtual green screen that has the background of the TFE logo, right? That's the background for his webcast.
Mhm.
Why am I not seeing that pop up? You know, maybe I'm not versed in the technology that we're talking about here, but what is causing that? I want to be able to explain that to people who say the video is fake.
Yeah, so from what I understand, it's like a chroma key virtual green screen, and what it's always trying to do is make the background. So it depends on how you have it set up. Mine will actually do it no matter what the background is. So he's clearly doing it where it's set up to work with a green screen. So anytime there's something close to the color, because he has to pick on a color wheel exactly what he's using. And so whenever you get closer to that green, it just starts to try. There's like these weird middle grounds where it just starts to merge over into whatever the background is, or are starting to move it from what the actual background is to the virtual background. So that's
I
why I
can
was saying I can
understand
turn my
that.
camera on and like experiment with it to show you what I mean. But it happens all the time because I actually did this to show how they were faking stuff on the ISS. If you use like a virtual live overlay background,
Mhm.
like there's these weird little middle grounds depending on when you're moving and around the outline of you in the foreground, you get these like fuzzy little like
Mhm.
blurry effects, like artifacts. So
Yeah, I
other than
used to
that, I don't really know.
notice
I don't
that.
actually use it that much, but I did use it to show like how they faked on the ISS. Right. I show like that's what happens when you use one, like you'll disappear partially and stuff like that. Like your
Mhm.
handles halfway disappear. And that's what I saw on the ISS. So I'm not nearly as like veterans with it, to be honest. I don't really use them.
No, I spent, oh my God, it has to have been months. I spent months analyzing NASA and SpaceX videos before I ended up FE myself. and just hours upon hours upon hours of footage. And I noticed exactly what you're talking about among a number of other things. And I was able to debunk a few claims as well. But it's a complete mess. This is less messy than NASA, but yeah, that explains what I'm seeing near the sky. Why is it just near the sky that I'm seeing it though?
Well, it's a solid blue background, I would guess. I mean,
Well, the
like it,
algorithm is designed to try to carve out the human image. So it's going to be looking for shoulders, going to be looking for like a head and all that. So typically a background, which is what the filter he was using was, I forget the streaming service. It was a website. That website has a background chroma key filter, which is what he was using. It had his like the TFE background. So it's looking around the shoulders and the head for basically the green screen to begin, and it wasn't there. Also, it has trouble picking up the color gray, thinking that it's possibly green, depending on the shade. So it's assuming that it's there, and it begins blending, but then it's not there.
dude, I
And
can
this is
totally.
Yeah.
Wait. So if he was using a StreamYard feature,
yeah,
I can
it's a
totally
StreamYard.
load that up right now. Although I was dozing off, I will get up for you guys. That's all good.
Also, I don't know if you've seen the trip, the road trip when they were flying. One of the 24 hours, not 24-hour video. One of the videos from Punta Arenas to the Antarctica. The light on the sky also changed from light to dark. You gotta go flip back and forth between it. It's kind of trippy.
I
What
actually have
about the
a ton
reflection
of
that I just
videos from
posted?
the flights, by the way. I filmed on my phone a ton on the flights. I think we have like 4 total time lapses of the flights and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, it's pretty
This
crazy. I
is
was like,
this
yo,
is
what?
the
That's something you gotta look at because it looks like as soon as you get closer to Antarctica, like the sky darkens up, even though the sun is up.
yeah. The last one I posted, which is the lady's sunglasses. If you take a look at that reflection, what am I seeing here? Because it looks like I'm seeing not what this is.
I'm just kind of assuming other people are helping me look. I'm trying to like move my stuff around so I can.
Well, what do you think you're seeing there? Like, I guess, like, do you have anything more to ask about it?
Just
Like
curious about what I'm looking at here because
Sure.
it doesn't
So
look like a background.
largely, it looks like there's a blue sky, and that because of her head's tilted and there is a sharp curve in the lens, then it's going to be off center, right?
Of
So
course.
on the right, you have the white, and on the left, you have the blue. And then perhaps there is a station or some kind of object, somebody standing in front of her with black, or some kind of like building or something. I can't make it out. The resolution's too low, but
No building in that stream in front of her. There
okay,
is
then
maybe
perhaps a person.
people standing. Yeah. There's everyone was lined up in front of. Because basically, when you went up there to talk on the stream, all the people involved in the trip were in a line in front of you. That's why I made the joke of, okay, so everyone's actually holding a gun up to me right now. Yeah. Which actually, seeing how crazy people have acted, I am somewhat surprised no one has really run with that. But I guess that doesn't really fit too good with the narrative of I'm a sellout, you know. But I have heard the narrative that like they got to me or they made threats. And you know what's so funny is I put all these fail safes up where if I was compromised in any way, I had certain things I could say, certain phrases I could use. Like, look, see, now I'm afraid. Do I say like one of them that I set up, or just people are going to be like, oh, is he telling us something? You know what I'm saying? Can I even like repeat what they were? I don't know.
Why
Anyway,
burn it? Why burn it?
you mean like, yeah, just always have it? Yeah, true that. True that. But anyway, yeah, it's just funny because it's like, I resonate with that more though. Like if someone's, because I think, look, I'll be honest. Like if someone, I haven't watched Eric Dubay, right? I haven't watched any of these things because I'm actually just, I don't want to get pissed at people and stuff like that, and I'm just trying to chill because I know that when people see me break it all down, show all the receipts, drop all the data, drop the Proton Drive, and drop the Telegram group and all this stuff, right? And do it live stream, explaining everything, fielding questions, blah, blah, blah. And then they see me going on these channels and answering all these questions and defending Flat Earth really well. Like it's going to change everything. We're going to have like a 70% turnaround or something. That sounds like a bold prediction, but that's what I think. So I'm trying to largely just be kind of detached or disconnected from any of the specifics of the personalities involved so that I don't get pissed. But Kai told me that the Dubay video, if you didn't know anything, you just watched it, it's like somewhat convincing. I don't know how true that is. I mean, Riggs told me the opposite, but anyway, my point is, so I can resonate more with someone kind of being like, say they're watching all that, because I've been largely silent, right? Because I've been busy and stuff. So people can be like, I don't think Austin would just outright like sell us out. So maybe they got to him, you know, maybe they threatened him, they threatened his family, whatever. I think I can respect those people a bit more because at least they're kind of saying implicitly that they don't think I would ever sell them out unless I had no choice. But I'm saying a lot to say, it's like, no, but that's just obviously not the case, bro. I came up with an entire system. I have a kill switch in place now. I have a kill switch in place. And then I have all these people that know different phrases that I would never say unless I was compromised. And I have obviously not said any of those. So
That's really interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
People
was the
really
only,
get in
that's
my
the
head.
only key phrase
They're
I've
gonna take
been
me out or
waiting
something.
for. To know if we're compromised or not.
What did I say was somewhat convincing?
So what's your opinion of McToon doing this in general? In my opinion, it's very disingenuous of him, the way he's spinning this.
Oh, I don't know. What is he doing? I don't like. I regularly forget that he exists and refuse to watch anything he says.
I don't blame you.
Like this.
So he's making a lot of claims about how the 24-hour sun debunks FV and how he took the AE map off his. Well, I mean, it's a globe projection, so I don't know why he wants to debunk his own globe projection, but whatever. But he didn't seem to be doing it in good faith with you both. I
Yeah, of
don't
course not.
think that you're the problem. I do think that there's something very rotten about that man, just in general.
He's a sociopath and he's parasocial and he's evil.
I think he enjoys it,
Yeah.
which is the worst part.
So look, check this, man. So check this. McToon was largely like cordial when we were around, and it literally made me think he's more insane. So, I mean, I hope that makes sense to you, like
So
because
that's sociopathic, yeah.
yeah. And then like I also realized it was like this parasocial dynamic where it's like if I turn the corner, I was like, I swear he's waiting there. I turn the corner, he'd be like, hey. And he's like,
Ugh.
he just wanted to be friends so bad. And he wanted to like really take advantage of us hanging out and being around each other. And it's like, I obviously largely just ignored him. And that wasn't mean. I just like ignored him. I'm like, I just like nod my head and walk past. And then he like frequently came up with any little random excuse he could to try to act like we needed to have a conversation. And he's like, hey,
Is he?
so I have a magnetic dip compass that I brought. It didn't really work that well, but I also have this other thing, whatever it was. He's like, I figured that you'd be really interested in something like that, and I can show you how it works if you want me to in a little bit.
Ugh.
And I'm like,
Answer
yeah,
my
I don't
own
know,
time.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know,
Red
maybe. And then just
flags.
walked.
Is he physically intimidating?
Did you count all your articles of clothing in case he tried to steal any of
That's
your
so
dirty
funny.
clothes?
I don't know. He may have
Is he a
some.
big guy?
Nah. I mean, he's not. Nah, he's a little shorter.
No.
He's a little heavy set.
A little tubby.
A little
So
bit, yeah.
what's it? I saw that McToon was a problem when I started investigating his character. and I looked into his ministry and a couple of other issues with him. One of the things that I find a bit odd is the thing that might actually help Effie. What did you think about the gyronometer and how the projection or the model it showed, the graph it showed, didn't match the globe projections correctly, or globe predictions?
Actually,
Pardon.
I haven't fully investigated that. I just do remember them saying. So I remember them quickly breezing over it and saying something about how it wasn't big enough and the shadow didn't fit or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Can
it
you give me
doesn't.
some more
It's about
detail?
10 to 11 suns in error.
Wow.
A lot of suns.
Yeah, 10 to 11 roughly. I had a couple of people look into it as well.
That's a lot of heat.
No, as in I'm using it as distance, right? So
Right.
it's off by
I
quite
know.
a bit.
I know. I was just.
Oh yeah, I think that's interesting because, like, I think that we're gonna find some gems when we go through all that. I'm
Well,
trying to
you were
get a
looking at
hold
the
of
shadows
McKee.
in your own videos, right?
Yeah.
Did you see how quickly those shadows changed?
Yes. I think that the sun did. I think the shadows looked super weird in like every conceivable way, even in person.
Yeah. And that's what I'm wondering.
If there was a low ceiling like that, the clouds were coming in and hitting up against something, say a low sky, it would pretty much have a quick turnaround, you would think.
The clouds were hitting
No,
the
because the
ceiling.
sun's supposed to be 93
Well,
million miles away.
Well, that's what they
Oh yeah,
say.
he's a flat earther, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm flat
Oh
earther.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, but
So,
I don't know. You're talking
no,
about clouds hitting the ceiling, bro. I mean, we flew in an airplane there.
no, I got you. I got you. I mean, a little higher ceiling, like there's certain parts like you didn't fly over those mountains, right? You landed inside the mountains. Is that correct?
No, we got on a little plane and we flew through a lot of the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just not way past them. Just kind of.
But you weren't free to explore it.
No. They're like, stay inside the red flags or you could die.
I got you. Okay.
Nice excuse.
Gotcha. I have just a couple questions because I just woke up the neighborhood fireworks. I don't want to bug you. I know you've been answering questions, buddy, and I know you probably were out. But did you ever get a chance to look into that primer fields theory?
No.
Okay, it blows through. You'll be surprised. It just needs magnetism, electricity, and the dielectric backdrop, which we would basically call the Ethernet. Which is beautiful, man. You can take, you know how you were showing us a long time ago about the double toroidal kind of movement, and then in the middle there would be a possibly livable dome, but more than likely it would be like for plasma being or plasma maybe luminaries, and then people like us carbon based being able to survive and that kind of thing. And primer field theory shows you that it is possible from the single photon, just single photon when they did the double slit experiment, all the way up to celestial bodies, and it's just so beautiful, man. I'll have to. I'm doing I'm doing my very first space on that on 4th. So it'd be the day after, later at night after Friday. Flat Earth Friday. Oh man, but glad you got back safe, man. I appreciate everything you've done. I've been one of the ones just patiently waiting.
Well, you guys should get everything. Like now, when I'm thinking about everything, I'm like, okay, it's probably best. Like everything's going to start on the first day of the year, and I predicted that 2025 would be the biggest FE year, and we'll just do everything first day. You feel what I'm saying? So.
Oh, Witsit, back to the shadows quickly. If the sun in that area was lower than it is anywhere else, so there have been a couple people that have been doing some shadow stuff. I've been doing some in my own space as well. There was one done with an action figure. Yeah, they tried to use it to expose your video, but what it actually did was it made me wonder if the light source was closer in that region rather than if you go anywhere else, the shadows move slower, they change slower. I should say they change slower, not that they move slower.
Or the light could have came in at a steeper angle, maybe.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
will
very
say
odd.
this. One of the things I really was thinking over and over is like how awesome it would have been to go with a team of flat earthers and like had really just prepared everything, had plenty of equipment, all kinds of tests, got plenty of sleep. We had a schedule there, and we could just go and like really just get data, do a test, do a flat Earth test, all this. And I would the only way I'd be open to going back would be something like that. Um, because obviously we weren't able to do nearly as much as I would have liked. We were told we could bring one checked bag and one carry-on, and my carry-on was packed full just with like a few cameras and batteries, and then the checked bag was packed full with just the clothes. Then we get there, and somehow every Glober knows you can have like 5 bags. We had all kinds of stuff, but we didn't.
Amazing coffee. Damn it. Son of a bitch.
Witsit, Roland my Boulder's asking you a question. He said, is there anything on video where you wanted to explore and someone stopped you on the video?
No, because we flew in there and we drove off site like 1.5 kilometers to do the actual observation. You could tell, dude, there was nothing remotely close to us that you would have seen, you know? I mean, I know that like really crazy pyramidal structure was 18 miles away. And we actually asked, or Duffy asked about changing our flight to go over that, but it was going to turn a 22-minute flight into an 80-minute flight, and it was like like I think like $14,000 more or something. So we didn't do that. That seems kind of interesting, right? That pyramid. That place is so big, it's so expansive that like if you had just took off trying to walk somewhere, bro, no one would have even cared. Um, I mean, maybe they would have because they were like, if you all saw the red flags, we haven't surveyed there are crevasses, and so you're immediately losing like protection in a sense. But yeah, there would have been nothing to accomplish. So no, of course, no one stopped me, and we made jokes about how we were going to go rogue, but like obviously flying over that place, it's like you don't want to go rogue. Okay, you want an airship. Okay, that's what you want. You want an airship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no one stopped me because he didn't try to do anything. And that's a super disingenuous question, but of course I know that guy, and that's kind of the status quo. So.
I think that's fascinating.
When the military guys over there say crevasses like that in their own language, their native languages, it just sounds like, yes, we have planted bombs for you.
Oh well, I don't think it's supposed to sound like crevice.
It's an up north thing. It's like it's a snowboard thing too. I mean,
yeah.
I think if you ever do go back there, you should bring an expedition team and you should explore the entire place if you could.
But that would be cool. I would only go to explore with an airship.
Absolutely. I still think we should all have airships and just go.
I would totally do something like that.
Or like propane,
Oh.
like hot air balloon style.
Oh, I think you should have like multiple different fuel sources, electrostatic propulsion. You should be using ionic winds to generate electricity. You can do all kinds of
this way to fly. People use parachutes and then have a fan boat fans. They like strap to their back, and then they can fly around with a parachute.
Well, wait, you know that some people go in there and they just like paraglide across the entire place allegedly. So a guy that I actually like, I resonate with pretty. I knew the dude was just like honest, legit, just like he was cool, man, cool vibes. I intuitively knew he was just like a pretty honest guy. Former military, worked in Antarctica for 14 years, worked at ALE for 7 years. And I would say I don't think there's anything sketchy about the guy. The guy climbs mountains and helps people climb mountains, and he gets paid good to go to Antarctica. So I don't know. I could be wrong. You know, who knows? If you're trained well enough, you could be very deceptive. But anyway, I was talking to him. He was actually very cool with talking about flat Earth. He found it very interesting, and which is totally counter to what the Globers would want to tell you in here, right? Which is like everyone there knows the Earth's a globe. Not so much, really. But so anyway, he told me about a guy that supposedly went there without a permit and then started like paragliding. I don't know if that's actually the word for it, but like parachuting type of thing. but like paragliding across the whole continent. This is the story. He went across the whole continent without a permit, but obviously once you start, they're not going to like intercept you. And since he successfully made it, then they didn't do anything. They showed his path, and he basically just skirts along, kind of. He goes into the interior and then goes towards the kind of the edge, and just skirts along it. But yeah, that's pretty. It's kind of crazy, even just that idea. Because obviously there's stories that people went with permits as well.
If we
The
do
idea
that,
that you go over the ice, and you have this like paraglider, and then he went for 57 days. Like that's so wild to me. Like, the idea just blows my mind, bro.
if we can do that or get blimps, I'm down to go.
I'm down to go with airships. Yeah.
All right.
Eric's
Let's get a
How
blimp.
would you stay warm? You would have to carry so much freaking gear, even if you're one guy.
No, you just get fat and do the Wim Hof method.
No, dude, you just wear a bunch of layers. You guys maybe aren't familiar with the cold. I wasn't, but dude, if you wear enough layers, bro, like you're fine. So
And then plus,
Hey,
and plus the sorry, go ahead.
No,
Finish.
you go.
If you felt
Okay, I was
30
gonna.
below, I don't think you'd be talking about layers. 30 below is like, dude, eyeballs start freezing to your freaking eyeballs.
It wasn't 30
No,
below.
no, 30 below. You're right. No, that's not correct. I live in a cold climate. I've experienced minus 57.
Yeah, and
Minus
plus
54.
the layers of like nylon and xenon, like they use these layers that they would double triple up, and like 10 of another one or 5 of another one, and like the strong ones, the strong stuff. And then in the midst of all that, they would put layers that like tin foil and stuff that would keep heat in. Let's put it that way. So their cabins, I'm sure, would be nice and toasty.
It's insulating.
So
Yeah.
Witsit,
I have a question. So I told McToon before the trip. I asked him like, if there's a 24-hour sun, will you make a diss track? And he said that it was a good idea. He said that like maybe. So if he does make a diss track, Witsit, will you respond with your own diss track? Will you rebuttal?
I would pop that guy up.
Maybe, but it would give him like attention. So maybe not.
I would
yeah,
chop
I
him up
wouldn't
for
give him
sure.
attention.
That would give him so
Witsit,
much false hope.
if you don't mind, I just want to. I've seen you, I've talked to you, you've answered my questions, so thank you for that. At least now I can tell people that I talked to the man behind the mission. And your words and the words you didn't say checked out just fine. You don't sound like you're lying. You sound like you're exhausted.
Yeah, still pretty much. Yeah.
Yes, I was totally analyzing you.
Yeah,
Join the club.
Yeah, got to put you on the spot, get you in an interrogation.
Hey, brother.
It's the
Hey,
words they don't say.
I just wanted to let you know, I'm the guy that told you each time. If you need help, I'm here to help you, brother. Now the whole time you've been in Antarctica doing your thing and having to deal with Globers, and I've had my nose deep into this research of what is it going to take for relativity to finally get Higgs and just put on the chopping block and be done with. I mean, done with, so we can have our own. We'll call it flat Earth physics.
Really simple.
And what I found is there's a guy named David Lapointe. Okay, this guy, he's an older guy, but no one has picked up his work yet. He's got like 237 views, and let me tell you, his concepts are flipping two opposite magnetic poles on top of each other. Okay, one is a southern polarity, one is northern polarity, and they stick together, right? And all through these magnets, there's drilled out little squares. Like some of these Capitol dome buildings. When you look up at them, they got squares cut out all of them. Some are like two levels deep. Well, he did the same thing. He copied them because he thought there was something with it. And the domes also had a small, very small opening up top, which I've always called the apex dome. Now, the apex dome is in all this religious writing. It shows Jesus's feet like coming down out of it. Some was really weird. I didn't understand, but my point is, it's just like a double toroid with a living space there, a block domain wall. You know, and it's very, very easy to use. It's very easy to represent our teachings with it. Now, he can measure the double slit experiment through that. So the photon is in the very center, okay? And there's a piece of metal there, and it can be magnetic or non-magnetic and still follow the field lines is my point. But I'll get to the point. I don't want to mess up. Okay, so he can lay that down on its side, right? And he can take it apart and then put another smaller set of these bowls that are red and blue, and he can move them so there's field lines going backwards and outwards. So the block domain wall would be the ones laying down flat, which is pushing the other set. And then you can turn them like at a 45-degree angle and, move it any which way. And it just goes to show that it's actually a 360-degree bubble that's invisible. Okay. And this is how things can be formed from a photon or build cells like that. And the multiplication and the separation part of cell life, you can demonstrate, like through the Fibonacci sequence and that ratio phi. A lot of things with I'll land the plane here in a second, but a lot of things with like sunflower seeds, the rotation, and I've explained to them the toroidal fields. Right? Is someone needing to speak?
It's okay, RG.
What were you
It's
saying about sunflower seeds?
I don't know what you're going on about, but if
No,
you
we're-
want to kill gravity, then you better figure out the third variable for why things fall. And don't just tell me it's buoyancy and density.
No.
I'm
It's
also
the way.
working on that.
Yeah, got you. It's the way that at that choke ring, at that apex dome, there is when electrons are coming in, they're coming in at all different polarities, north to south, south to north, and they're just chaotic, right? Until they go up under into our dome. So that would be the extremities coming in, and they all seem to flip north, south, north, south, north, south. So we are intrinsically given up. We know what up is, right? And then there is no established gravity. It's filled in by gravitas. I mean, just wait. But I'll finish. I'll finish real quick. And I got a lot of visuals on my page on X. I could direct you to. But yeah, once these polarities are locked into, it can show without a vacuum tube. Well, partially with a vacuum tube to show the shapes of some things you're looking at in the heavens through telescopes, right? And then you take it out of the vacuum chamber and you can put like say 2 millimeter, very small, 2 millimeter like BBs like for a BB gun. You just start pouring them in the red side of it, the north polarity side of it, and those things will align to these invisible lines that you can't see, and you're not running any kind of machine. And you look up in the sky, and it describes like the Crab Nebula, the Xbox Nebula. Like it can demonstrate these things, but then if you keep those same balls in there and you put it in the vacuum, all of a sudden it becomes a work of art. It's beautiful. I mean, undeniable. And you can do this.
When's that console coming out? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and you can do this with a toroidal. It's when you put them together, they have intrinsically built in toroidal effects. Toroidal, one's going down, out of the top of the bowl, which would be pointy. And then if you do the southern polarity one, it's also got one spinning in the opposite direction. And when you put them together, something magical happens that I can't explain yet, but David explains it very well. That David Lapointe. Oh, and get this, all of his patents are open source. Everything's free. So before we talk about primer fusion being the hydrogen boron plasma machines, which are like you can run them for $10 a month per household or per 2 households, which is no lie, it's very true. And I'm holding a space. It's coming up Saturday, and I would love
Cool,
for y'all
RG.
to come. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I said, cool, RG. Thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. And I really like y'all's support because I know y'all's minds or most of your minds, and you're thinking like me. I want to help the world before I go. And to be honest, I have pretty bad infection right now, and I really don't want to go without getting all this to the public, especially flat earthers. They all deserve it.
Aw.
So thank you.
Hey, what was you saying about the running the primer thing in each house? What about that?
Are you serious? Your question is what about that?
No, I didn't catch it. He said something about each house can run it for like, what did he say, 10 minutes a day or something?
No, you can run all of your appliances. You run the power to your lawnmower to charge. If you got an electric mower, if you got an electric bed that leans up and down, anything electric can be ran off of it. It's just a transfer. It's a transfer of power from one system to another.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I come in late, man. I caught that, and I was like, wait, I got to
Yeah.
hear what that was about.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm with you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, y'all. But
Yeah.
where can we find you Saturday?
I'm sending out an invite to a lot of people. If you go to my X, just drop your @
Can you just
and
put
I
it in
can
the
send.
chat? And then
Well,
before we get
it's
too
on
far
my page.
away,
It's on my page.
Well, maybe you can stop in here but I just sent a request. I got a. Can't even.
well, but wait, Brian, before you say that, please, just one sec. He was, kind of telling us he was a little bit sick and everything. And, I would love to pray for you, maybe together at a
Absolutely.
time. And,
Yeah.
it sounds, look, I am not a scientific person whatsoever. I just use my senses, right? And so, but I was totally enthralled with what you were saying. I don't know exactly why, but it sounded so intriguing.
It's
And yeah, I would love
it's a
to.
it's a brand new theory that doesn't need dark matter, dark energy, or dark black holes.
Okay, and then that's perfect. And I would like to get your information and stuff. And I would really like to pray for you at some point. And then
Yes, ma'am.
also you got to leave room for a miracle. And I don't know what kind
Absolutely.
of infection that you have or anything.
Yeah,
But maybe
just something I've
there's
had for a while.
I'm old and broken, buddy. I know how it feels. So I'll be praying for you, brother.
yeah.
Well, I'm still young and wide alive. I just gotta let my mind do the load, I just
I'm
need.
just
I
going.
would. But if you have good questions and you're honestly wanting to learn, I mean, honestly, I would bring you up as a speaker. To ask questions, and we can go back and forth with trying to answer those. And I do better when people ask me questions. So
Brian
maybe I'll
will,
be able
yeah.
to help.
If you don't mind, I want to call out one of the trolls because I know the troll personally on this server and elsewhere. So, Roland, you just called Witsit a big baby, essentially, because he didn't go and explore a potentially fatal area of Antarctica, as he was told not to. That's what the red flags represented. You also said that I don't want to accept the blunt pain that this inflicts on FE, and that is not true at all. The final experiment, which was not an experiment, does not inflict any pain whatsoever on FE and means absolutely nothing for the fact that there is no curve.
Yeah, but
No, brother, let's I want to pray for you, man. I think you're gonna be good. Yeah, will heal you, bro. Don't internalize and believe and then thus manifest anything in the direction of what you were saying.
yeah.
I think it's pretty
Because that's maybe the most dangerous thing that people can do if you look into Germanic New Medicine. So
I think it's
yeah,
pretty
let's
presumptuous for anyone to say that it's the final anything, you know? I mean, like that, like there's nothing definitive about that experiment, you know? There's nothing like this is after this experiment, this is what's going to happen, you know? I mean, this is the way it is. I mean, no, people are going to have other ways of looking at it, and it's just not. It just the first time I heard it, it was stupid, you know? It didn't seem like it made sense.
Now I have a question,
sorry.
Witsit, about that. Hold on.
Can
So,
we hold on a
no,
second?
hold on. Yeah, no. I just want to ask really quickly, Witsit. So, Will Duffy and what's the other guy's name? McKeegan, Dave McKeegan. Overall, would you say that those two people seemed like honest people?
No.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I think that maybe more so than some people would maybe assume. Like, it depends on. I think that they believe they're slicker than they are, and they tactically omit things and play both sides and stuff like that. But if
For
we're going to
example,
talk about like in like a spectrum, McToon is so far over to the left, for example. For sure, like McKeegan and Duffy are not over there. And McKeegan overall was like the most tolerable and seemed the most genuine until we ever had any direct interactions where I was even slightly questioning any of his worldview, at which point he began to immediately implode, spiral, interrupt, and misrepresent everything I was saying. So I think it's a combination of ineptitude and, you know, in person is a little bit more real for these people in terms of debates. But no, I wouldn't call them honest. I mean, Duffy just straight up said he thinks it's okay to be deceptive and lie, and
yeah,
you know,
for example,
I believe him. So
let me
I
Yeah,
example
believe he
that.
yeah,
believes
He's
it.
sitting there
he's
making
scrub.
videos. He's making videos saying that real quick. He's making videos saying that flat earthers have no answers, and whether you agree with a couple of our answers or not, okay. I've sent him I've sent him like half a dozen emails, showing him how he didn't, wasn't using the AE map correctly, and with a couple of the things he said, and B, here's a model with two rotations. Criticize what's wrong with it. Don't just say we have no answer. When I'm sitting there emailing you, and he responded to the emails beforehand. So he's obviously getting them, and all of a sudden now, when I'm sending this model, he'd rather just ignore it. And so to me, that's a type of dishonesty, just by omission.
What I want to know is, out of everyone that went, or like whatever happened in this final experiment, who made the most money off that?
I heard the rumor that McToon made like 50K. I don't know how true that is.
I can see that. Yeah, I can
Was it
see.
from
I
like
can
I
see.
heard that from pretty reliable present source. So.
Was that
Yeah.
from a video?
From all the videos, from super chats and ad revenue and donations.
I believe it is.